and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast, I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains at last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Gonna learn the consequence of being incompetent. Mental health is confidence, dreams and some honestness. I'm not here to save the day, that's for you to take away. I could play a million mind games, but instead I say something not illogical, something that is topical. Rub it on and watch it go, make yourself unstoppable. Dreams are irresponsible, but they're always possible. If you just believe, you could be so remarkable.
Thoughts in my head, a collage and they spread. I'll be great one day, going off of my meds. No, I'm not giving up, no, I'm not giving in. I will make it to the top, taking off in the wind. I gotta make it, I'm saving every day to taste it. I'm patient, but my mind, it can hardly take it. I'm chasing a dream that I've had for several ages. A vacant, modern kingdom for the taking.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
Alright, let's get it. What do we got today? What the hell is this? Is that a hot dog? Doomsday Diner? Official sausage trailer story? What the hell is this? No. No music for you. No. Oh, what the fuck? So, wait. Are the hot dogs trying to kill you or something? What is this? Oh. Oh, it's just a cooking. Oh, it's a cooking sim. I'm over here thinking that they're fighting the food or something wacky. Oh damn, it's Nigel. How's it going, Nigel? You on the dark side today, huh? You just right over there. We live streaming a Rumble today. So now we got Rumble, we got Rumble, Kick, Twitch, YouTube, Big and Shorts. Bro, there's not shit. This looks like it might be good. Pragmata just, I mean, it looks like a good game, but it's just so many trailers of Pragmata.
Get ready for a soul-shaking swordplay action adventure in the Onimusha series' signature dark fantasy style. Onimusha Way of
That's
the
right,
Sword
it is Friday.
In 17th century Edo period Kyoto. You'll fight your way through iconic locales such as Kiyomizu-dera Temple. The protagonist, a lone samurai, Miyamoto Musashi.
Let's see your best then, eh?
Musashi set out on his journey with a simple goal. Master the sword and stand peerless above all swordsmen. But the Genma had other plans. Musashi is struck down, but finds himself revived with an Oni gauntlet on his arm. Now, Musashi has a new goal. Rise up against the monstrous Genma ravaging the land. And carve himself a new fate. But his path is not a lonesome one. A vibrant cast of allies awaits.
Musashi!
And his old rival, Sasaki Ganryu, stands firmly in his way.
What the fuck was, wait, what? What was that? No, we're gonna talk about this. What was that?
Stands firmly in his way.
What, fuck happened here, guys? What happened here? How'd you sneak that one in?
With blade in hand and fate in the balance, will Musashi's bloody battles against formidable foes...
Yo, that mob looks cool. Hold on, that looks sick.
In the balance,
Look at that mob.
Musashi's bloody battles
That looks sick, man.
against formidable foes deliver him hope or despair. Kyoto's history is abound with many strange tales and unsettling mysteries. And you can experience strands of these hidden legends woven throughout the story. Feel the ring of steel on steel, intense duels. Reduce enemies to pieces with a devastating Isen. Parry and deflect attacks with well-timed blocks to turn the tide of battle in your favor.
That's so cool.
And, of course,
I love parry mechanics that look more realistic. They don't necessarily have to be more realistic, but I love it whenever you either block or parry something and it has those sparks on it. I think that shit's so cool. I want to see more realistic parrying or blocking mechanics. I don't necessarily want to experience or play them, if that makes any sense.
absorb souls with the Oni Gauntlet to recover health or ready powerful abilities. Moving from one bloody and desperate battle to the next, Musashi searches for his reason to fight. What answers will he find at the end of his blade?
That's cool.
Miyamoto Musashi walks the perilous path
This
of
is
the
a very
Onimusha,
pretty, vibrant game.
and on it, a new legend will be forged.
Yo, W Onimusha. Oh, this is that World War One game. Hold on. This looks really fucking promising. This looks really good. I hope this isn't what the fuck happened to the subtitles? What happened to the subtitles? Holy shit. Oh! What? No way. So this looks like it's multiplayer, but you carve the landscape out as you battle. Look at that. That's sick. Drive a tank. Drive a bigger tank. Damn, look at all those maps. The flying circus. Throw a grenade. Holy! Yo, that actually looks like a really fun game, even if it's multiplayer. That looks insanely good. That's it? Bro. I have no other damn games. We had so many, like, good announcements. That's alright. That's alright. You know why it's alright? You know why it's okay? Because we got fucking Fleekazoid today, boys. We got Fleekazoid. W Fleekazoid. I wonder what he's gonna be talking about.
Things exceed our expectations. Windrose has exceeded my expectations. Ubisoft has also met my expectations because I expected them to keep doing some bullshit. Give me some. Before 2020, Ubisoft made some of the funnest slop on the market.
Yo, it's googly eyes.
After 2020, they make some of the funnest
how's
headlines
it going,
on the market.
Ford?
Half of these issues are because Ubisoft's chud CEO and a stupid fucking chud son
Yo, he just says it is Chud CEO and a stupid fucking son Chud.
won't leave the company. I don't know what that word means, but people on the internet use it, so now I'm gonna use it. Ubi Chud lost $1 billion last year.
Ubi Chud.
And you know what their plan is to save the company? We ain't changing shit. It's just like when I'm down 30 grand in the casino. Do I throw in the towel when I'm out 30? No. I double down till I'm out 60. Then I double down till I'm out 120. Do I stop there? Did Icarus stop? Did that penguin stop? Did the Titanic stop? No, I keep doubling down because I got double down syndrome. And once you've lost the car, the house, and a few franchises you forgot you even owned, you split the house into 5 crack houses and sell 25% of the crack palace to the Chinese. We've left the metaphor. Ubisoft is splitting their franchises into separate but equal houses, not in a racist way. A lot of people are giving incredible analysis as to the business pros and cons of this move, but you only need to know one thing.
Analysis. He said analysis like anal and analysis.
Into separate but equal houses, not in a racist way. A lot of people are giving incredible analysis as to the business pros and cons of this move.
Analysis.
But you only need to know one thing. For Honor and Riders Republic got put into the same house. Fuck you, For Honor fans. They say they did this to put the best talent with each property, which is why, in the least nepotistic way possible, they kicked out the guardian of the franchise for the CEO's chud son. And let me be clear. Fuck
No way. So that's the reason why Assassin's Creed is down the shitter? They kicked out the original maker, or the guardian, as it were, of Assassin's Creed, like the entire goddamn thing, because of the CEO's son? Are you kidding me?
that other guy too. He's suing Ubisoft for pushing him out. I should be suing him for letting AC Shadows happen. The only thing he guarded was the catering cart. Allegedly. Alright, I made that one up. One more thing. This image just raised graphics card prices by another $100. You're welcome. Getting back to the houses for a second. If I had to guess which one is gonna be the most successful, I'm betting on House 6. The house of all the fired Ubisoft devs that go on to make Goaties, Stray,
Oh, that's right. They did make that game. Yeah, it was a bunch of developers that had been fired from other game companies that had made Expedition 33. That's right. Some of them had no idea what the hell they were doing too.
Dispatch, Expedition 33, my cock game that's coming out soon.
Dude, I'm so fucking hyped for the Warcock game. It's not even funny.
Expedition 33,
I'm gonna play the shit out of that Warcock, man. I'm gonna play the fuck out of this game. I love everything I've seen about this game so far. I look forward to playing the absolute dog shit out of this game.
Out soon. These former UB devs are cranking out the quality slop. They're getting recognized by the French president as the most French shit he's ever seen. And he's about to see a lot more because Ubisoft's big plan to succeed by 2028 is firing everybody. They're bragging, oh, attrition has never been low. There's no one left to fire. Hey, morale in the office is at all-time highs. Yeah, just look at all these smiling faces.
I know, right? What better way to make sure morale is high at the office than to just fire everybody?
Ubisoft employees went on strike over all this shit, but no one cares. People care more about playing as the shit I mix into my crack than this strike. Ubisoft loves to constantly remind people that they can take away their games, but one thing they can't take away from me is my V-card.
So they're really trying to triple down on this? They're firing all the developers that are trying to tell them that the games that they're making are crap? Are you kidding me? Is that really what this guy is trying to relay to everybody? Is that Ubisoft, instead of trying to go a different course, is doubling down, tripling down at this point, and firing all the developers that have seen what was going on with these games? Ooh. That's crazy. I cannot believe it. I thought they were changing. I can't. I'm actually mind blown. I can't believe it.
Yours in a couch or on a Greyhound on the way to Mississippi. I got good news. You can buy yours back for 10% off using code PIMP. Neo understands something that AC Shadows never did, and that is how many buttons are on a controller. Remember when they said, "Oh, croissant, 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 ho, ho." Turns out Neo cracked that code with something called a single button press. Have you heard of this? Have you seen this? But we're not talking about Neo. That's next week. We're talking about Windrose. Windrose, and so did my
Windrose popped the fuck off when it came out. The amount of streamers and people that are hyped about this game, I'm actually surprised about. This game completely popped off.
Regions, this game is beautiful.
Why did the insult machine suddenly give compliments?
People think I'm an angry guy. I'm not an angry guy. I'm a happy guy. I mean, I broke 3 mice playing this demo, but other than that, I'm a happy guy. Now let's dive into every way Windrose did down Skull and Bones. And Skull and...
That's how you know a game is good. When you get so angry at a game that you quit, and then you end up coming back to it, that tells you everything you need to know about the game. You may even uninstall that motherfucker, but then you end up installing it again. That's a good game. You want to fucking beat the shit out of somebody because of a mechanic in a game? You uninstall the game, you break your controller, you go get a new one, and then 20, 30 minutes later, guess what you playing? Playing that game. That's how you know it's a good game.
Bones, you played as a boat with a stamina bar, a boat you couldn't get off of. In Windrose, you can get off the boat. That makes this the 3rd greatest pirate game of all time. There really aren't that many of these pimps. As for Neo, I promise we'll get to it next week. But how can I talk about that when the new Xbox CEO is saying AI will get people fucking again? Thanks to the flock of pimps for bankrolling this video, and another huge thanks to everybody that's using code PIMP, and to the legend that bought 3 boxes of V-cards using the code
W Fleekazoid. Bro does not miss. So Highguard, we've already covered a little bit about this, is officially shutting down. It's cooked. It's over. Highguard is done. Its last day will be March 12th.
To Highguard. I'm sure many of you have heard the news of its passing. They are shutting it down, so it truly is a certified goodbye guard situation.
No, it's a certified Concord game. The trilogy is never going to end.
Here, the writing was on the wall. The last update we got,
no, I ain't gonna
with
play no
Highguard
marathon.
wasn't exactly joyous. It was about the layoffs that they were experiencing, where they let go of the majority of the development team. So it felt like it was just a matter of when as opposed to if they pulled it off life support. It had been hemorrhaging players, and they didn't have the confidence to see it through, to see if they could find a community that would fall in love with it. Have the confidence to if they pulled it off life support. It had been hemorrhaging players, and they didn't have.
But remember, boys, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many players Highguard has. They said it themselves. Obviously, that's not the reason why it's shutting down. Obviously. I mean, how dare you? How dare you make this false equivalency?
Have the confidence to see it through, to see if they could find a community that would fall in love with it through like updates and tinkering around, which I'll reiterate, I find to just be so vomit inducing as a norm in this industry, where they'll put millions of dollars into these projects, and if they don't instantly become the next fucking Fortnite or something, they just call it curtains and like, oh, doom and gloom, we're dead, is what it is.
Well, yeah, look at No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky took years of after release development in order for it to be the titan that it is now. If you think Fortnite was just a pop-off of the first day, well, it was. But that doesn't give you a reason to just open up a studio and then close it the minute the game launches and you realize you're not getting the results that you want. Sometimes you have to work towards it. You're never just going to launch a game and be a fucking titan at it. That's not how it works.
On to the next one. Like, they don't even really, like, try. They farted out, like, a whole roadmap for this game off rip to show that they're, like, really committed to building it with the community.
Do a collab
only
with
to
Roblox on
just
Nintendo.
instantly bury it 45 days later.
Yo! There's actually a tab now on Twitch specifically for Roblox next to the Twitch logo. What the fuck is that about? That's creepy.
It only lasted, like, a Concord and a half. It's so odd, these executives, man. Like, I don't know what they expect. Anyone could have looked at the trailer for this game at the end of the Game Awards, which absolutely blew its ass wide
No,
up.
like, everyone saw it and immediately was like, oh, Concord. No. And you know what's funny? Is that you don't even have to play the game for all that long. There's only one game mode. The damn thing only has one game mode. There's not even anything to do in the fucking game. What did you expect when you launched the fucking game with one game mode? What could you have possibly expected? Idealistically, it takes like 15 minutes to beat the match, and then you're done with the game. What the fuck were they thinking?
Open, that was a really unfortunate position.
You know, this could have been a really good game. It could have been. But at the same time, it never could have been. Whenever you launch a game with nothing to do in it, big surprise, people stop playing it and it gets shut down, like, not even 2 weeks later. What did you expect to fucking happen? You launched a game with one game mode. Sure, everything was put together pretty nice. I didn't hear any people saying that it had, like, bugs or anything like that. But there was nothing to do in the fucking game. There was nothing. It was barren. What did you expect?
For it to be in because of the expectations for a game like this, it already put a sour taste in people's mouths. But anyone could look at this game and tell you, yeah, it's not exactly going to stand toe-to-toe with the big dogs. This is something that would need to carve out a niche over time in order to find an audience. Like, it just surprises me that they all have become so deluded that they think it's going to happen immediately for them. It's not. So,
sorry. They're not deluded. They want to make money really quick. They don't want to maintain the upkeep of this game. The upkeep of this game was never their intention. They were doing a money grab. That's what they were doing. Anytime I see these developers make these games and then immediately dip out, give up all hope, I think to myself, I feel like this is just a money grab scheme. They're ripping the red carpet right out from under you. That's what it is. Just like crypto. Whenever you invest in a cryptocurrency and then they red carpet you, just like that. It's no different. They're doing this because there are no laws or regulations against this yet. That's why they're doing it. It has nothing to do with bringing gamers a good experience. It has nothing to do with maintaining the servers. It never was, never will be, never has been. This stops when we start pushing laws and regulations against this.
This game made it like 45 days, and I'm sure learning of its shutdown isn't the most surprising thing you've ever
Highguard. Highguard. The game is Highguard.
heard, because it's probably the most surprising thing you've ever heard. We'll look at their statement, though. Highguard's final update arriving soon. Thank you for playing with us. Today we're sharing difficult news. We have made the decision to permanently shut down...
Was it really difficult? I mean, you only told people on social media that you didn't need players to maintain it. What the fuck did you think would happen? What did you think would happen when you made that post?
Highguard on March 12th. Since launch, more than 2 million players stepped into Highguard's world. You shared feedback, created content, and many believed in what we were building. For that, we are deeply grateful. Despite the passion and...
Who? Whenever I saw the trailer at the Game Awards, this game was a joke. Everyone immediately in the like on YouTube, everyone immediately started calling it Concord. I don't know about you, but what I saw whenever this trailer was announced was complete garbage. It was garbage. The trailer was garbage. People immediately saw through this false veil. They knew exactly what kind of game this was going to be. And the best part about it, everyone got to experience it because it was free. Everyone got to download this virus of a game and uninstall it 30 minutes later after they beat the only match mode they had. Big fucking surprise.
Hard work of our team, we have not been able to build a sustainable player base to support the game long term, which runs contradictory to what was stated initially once the players started to drop off after day one about, like, we don't need massive players, player count isn't everything, we can continue to sustain this for the whole fucking roadmap. Like, now it's a very different song and dance here. Servers will remain online until March 12th. We hope you'll jump in with us one more time to show your support and get those final great matches in while we still can. The team is excited to release one final game update to enjoy in the remaining life.
They added a season. They added a season pass. Big surprise. The game that is online only multiplayer slot Concord 4 added a game pass with more skins. Didn't add a new map. Didn't add a new game mode. Nothing. But we're going to add a season pass, and we're going to add more skins that you can buy with real money. What lesson is there to be learned here whenever all they do is make money and then close up shop? These people need to go to jail. Or they need to be forced to refund all that money that people spent on skins and shit.
The game will be adding a new warden, a new weapon, account level progression, and skill trees. Full patch notes are coming, and we're targeting tonight or tomorrow morning for patch release. From all of us at Wildlight, thank you for playing, for supporting us, and being part of Highguard's story. They're sailing off into the sunset with one last
permanent ban. Quit being retarded in my comments. There you go.
Content drop here for Highguard. And I gotta tell you again, sports fans, I just don't know what kind of stupid juice executives are fucking squirting down their gullet there, the video games industry, to make them think that games like this are going to immediately pop off. Be real. a game in this genre that is so fucking saturated is going to need some time to bake. It's going to need a lot of tender love and care, a lot of alterations, a lot of listening to the community in order to build something that will hopefully get more players in the door. It was never going to be like a smashing global phenomenon or anything like that. That is very rare. I just don't get how they wouldn't have accounted for that and allocated budget of like, here's what we're going to go for this length of time. And if we don't grow to this level over the course of like 6 months or something, then we call it quits. They give it just over a month. Like, it never stood a chance. Even setting aside the blunder of the Game Awards for Highguard, even if that didn't happen, it probably would still be getting shut down right now, or maybe it would have even happened earlier, because at least the game...
It would have happened way sooner. That's what would have happened to Highguard. Highguard would have already been shut down. No one would know about it. No one would have played it. It's a good thing that Jeff Keighley brought this beautiful game to light, so that way everybody could watch it get publicly executed. It's a beautiful thing. Another one of these games where developers have to hide their tails and run like dogs. And you know what? Good. They need to do this. People need to have mass amount of backlash towards this. And let me tell you why. Because this time it was free. Next time it'll be another pay to play slop. It'll be another pay to play slop. Where you have to pay $40 just like Concord just to play it. And then you play it, and then the company shuts up shop and fucking goes on and makes another game that people are going to be forced to either buy or ignore. It's just it's a nasty, vicious cycle, and it ends with these people ending up in jail for fraud, honestly, at this point. At this point, it's ridiculous. It is. How we don't have laws against this yet is... well, I mean, I can tell you why. So that's what happens when you got a bunch of boomers that are running the government that don't know anything about games or the internet. Sitting there asking their grandkids on national television how to operate a goddamn cell phone.
Put a lot of peepers on it, and even though it was like, you know, people just looking the clown on it, it did get a lot of people in the door initially to try it, to the tune of almost like 100,000 concurrent on day one. So maybe if that didn't happen, it wouldn't have even come close to that, and they would have shut...
Bro. I thought I was the only one. I'm not even kidding. I don't like his voice. I don't like the way he speaks either. It feels forced. It doesn't feel natural at all. I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but bro struck a nerve with that. I like him. Don't get me wrong. I have a lot of views that I like about him, and I have a lot of views that I'm like, oh, that's not good. But like, I don't have any problems with Charlie or any other like YouTuber, streamer, whatever, right? Like, but man, his voice and the way he talks, it just feels so forced.
The doors after 3 fucking days or something, like, oh, it's over, okay, everyone go home, pack your bags, you're fucking fired. It didn't work. Like, maybe that's how it would have happened if the Game Awards, you know, blunder didn't go down the way it did. Who's really to say? But all I can tell you is...
And I genuinely think, now you could clip this for later. I feel like, and hear me out, I feel like in the next 5 years, there's a good chance there's going to be a mass amount of people that hate Charlie. Let me tell you why. It's because he's too likable, like The Rock. It feels like a facade. It does. Now, I'm not saying it's a facade. I'm saying that it feels like it is. What really defines Charlie is that he streams as well. And that to me is my indicator that it's not necessarily true that it's a facade, but it still kind of strikes me as a facade. But let's get away from that. There's not even but where I'm going with this is with how the algorithm is like hemorrhaging his content and throwing it up in people's faces, just like an ad, people are going to hate that. And then they're going to grow to hate Charlie as a brand. And I don't want to see that. I don't.
That I find it really just gross that these companies only give a game like a month and some change to be like the biggest game in the world, as opposed to like working at it for a long time. Like, let's take, for example, Rainbow Six Siege. I don't know how many old heads out here remember launch Rainbow Six Siege. That shit was almost non-functional. Siege was in a bad spot for a really, really, really long time. For like a whole month or two after its release, it was the Highguard of shooters. People would go into Siege just to make fun of the motherfucker. So like, that game had, by all definitions, a like rocky launch. Now, of course, it did have more players. I get that. It is like a huge budget title. But even still, by all definitions, it was a game that was floundering. But over the course of so much iterating, so much changing, and spending a lot of time, it was able to carve out a niche and grow into a successful game.
We starting early,
now,
huh?
Highguard, of course, came out, and when people tried it, they weren't blown away.
Enjoy your permanent bans.
That is just how it is. It wasn't spectacular. It wasn't the shittiest thing in the world. It was just mid. It was kind of a been there, done that kind of thing, but with a different coat of paint.
Anyone else?
Different spin on it, kind of, where now it's like
it's not a bunny suit.
Rating,
it's just the fucking.
But it still just felt like the same dish we had been served numerous times before. But that's not to say it would always exist in that state.
I agree. I don't think it's gonna ruin Charlie. I think it's just gonna make a lot of people hate Charlie. That's all. That's all it's going to do.
Maybe over time they could have fleshed something out and made something unique out of it that would have attracted a community to it. You never know. And now we will never know because the game's already getting shut down in just over a month. Like, it's just so fucking weird to see how content these companies are in the industry to just dump millions out the wazoo on these games.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's already started happening. Like, it's already started happening. People are already, like, the crowd of people that are hating Charlie are, like, growing more and more. And I think a lot of that has to do with how toxic his community is, too. Like, his community is toxic as fuck. They are, like, on Charlie's dick for some reason. I don't get it. Like, he's a cool dude. I like a lot of the content that he makes, but, like, goddamn, you don't have to be so aggressive. It's like a Sans community. Dude, a Sans community is fucking aggressive as fuck.
They only let them live for like just over a month or sometimes.
Yeah, like Reddit community, exactly.
What a huge fucking waste of time and money in that case if you're not even going to try to see where things go down the line. I get it's still expensive to keep running the games, which is why I think these companies need to be a lot more realistic with their expectations on things like a fucking pseudo-hero shooter experience. Like, come on, wake up.
Oh, you love how you see my streams day in and day end and you say literally nothing? Well, here, let me help you with that. There you go. Enjoy your permanent suspension. Look at that. Permabanned. Now you'd never have to worry about it again. Slavery? What the fuck? Big fan of your content. Jesus Christ. Thanks for letting me know. Now I'll never pop up in your feed again.
Ridiculous. Now again, it's not exactly surprising.
Yo, I woke up in a bad mood today.
At the moment, 350 players playing hard.
You get a permaban, and you get a permaban, and you get a permaban. Everyone gets permaban. I'm gonna be looking back through my fucking emails, and I'm gonna see this day, and I'm gonna be like, damn, that was a bad day.
That's not a substantial player base to justify, like, still spending oodles of clams developing it. I get that, which is why this is not shocking in the slightest. I just feel like it's something they should have been preparing for, and maybe...
Oh, man, they're not gonna prepare for anything. They was trying to do a quick cash grab on that. That's all they was trying to do. That's all they were trying to do, man. They didn't give a fuck about anything. They don't care. Let's skip the critical drinker. We'll come back to that on Monday. All right. We got Valve being sued for the loot boxes that are in, oh my God, Counter-Strike. The Counter-Strike loot boxes are at risk. Check out Legal Mindset, Legal Mindset. Hell yeah, Legal Mindset.
Massive lawsuit with the state of New York, which could...
And you know what's funny? Valve just won a lawsuit. They just won a lawsuit. They're in another.
The entire gaming industry. We're going to get into that
It's
today.
like Asmongold all over again, man.
On The Legal Mindset, where we teach you to be your own judge. I'm Andrew Esquire, American attorney. And this is a Fast Facts video, the quick and dirty version of the latest news. Now, we had covered a lawsuit that they won recently, Valve.
I do kind of feel like it's a bit different. Because if you're playing Counter-Strike and you're a child and you're able to get all, like, I feel like if you're going to sue, like, here's my big overall view of it. If you're going to sue one game, sue them all. I would consider casinos different because you have to be 18 or older to enter a casino. But if you're going to sue one fucking game, sue them all. Why are you specifically hammering Valve? There are so many games that have loot boxes in them. Why aren't you suing all of them? That's my big concern with this. And if anything, the lawyer should countersue whoever is suing Valve for discrimination, and they should run with that. They should. How is it that you're only suing Valve, but you're not going to sue Fortnite, you're not going to sue Apex, you're not going to sue all these other games? Only Valve? Interesting. That's really interesting to me.
Washington, which was a major win against patent trolls. But now, on the eve of that, they were hit with yet another case in New York by the state. So we're going to get into how this is a major case that everybody really should be following. If you care about gaming, any type of...
Well, the issue with... This could be the reason why. The reason, what I personally think, is that somebody who owned a bunch of Counter-Strike skins, they recently did an update where if you trade up 5 Counter-Strike skins, you can get a legendary, and it completely decimated all the prices. It completely destroyed all the prices to every single skin in the game. It completely wrecked them. And I think somebody got mad enough to where now they're suing. But they couldn't sue because of that, so they had to find something else.
Of gaming, this could affect gacha games, Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, Fortnite, Roblox, Hearthstone, an entire genre of
And I do think that even Pokemon, opening up packs of Pokemon in Magic the Gathering, you either need to restrict that shit to 18 plus, or you need to get rid of it, because it's a form of gambling. It is. It's a form of gambling, 100%.
Games that has randomized drops. So let's get into what's going on. We have the plaintiff, which is New York Attorney General Letitia James, who's a little bit of a controversial figure herself. She's been under fire with several indictments she's dodged, but now she's coming after Valve, and she's coming after to regulate them hard. And of course, we've got Gabe Newell, Valve, Steam, that are the defendants in this case, and they're the ones that are accused of really corrupting children. That's the line they're going with on this. Yes. So let's jump into our opening statements. Now, Letitia Jones, the AG of New York, is suing Valve on behalf of the state in her capacity as the Attorney General. And her line, her angle on this is that they are promoting gambling through loot boxes and the Steam marketplace. So those together, particularly the loot boxes and then the availability of the Steam marketplace, is equal to gambling, the same as casino gambling. That's the line from the lawsuit. New York argues that this violates the prohibition, the state prohibition in their constitution on lotteries or the sale of lottery tickets, pool selling, bookmaking, or any other kind of gambling. They are attempting...
I do think they need to have more laws. We need more federal laws that protect kids from loot boxes. We do. We absolutely do. Hell, you could even just make it to where in order for kids to unlock loot boxes, they have to verify that they're 18 and older. Just take away that ability from the games. Straight up. I just don't understand how we have allowed this for as long as it's been happening. I don't. I really don't.
To regulate this like a traditional casino. New York also argues that this gambling is targeting minors. Teens,
it absolutely is gambling. It's gambling. It's no different than pulling the handle at a slot machine. It's the exact same shit.
Etc. And that's why it's particularly pernicious and it needs to be stopped immediately. So what are the main arguments for them? The main state's arguments are that New York State is in charge of regulating gambling and they have that power under their state constitution, and that loot boxes are virtual items with value. Now that keyword value is going to be important, and we're just going to come back here because that's in the gambling statutes. It's got to be something with quote unquote value. Steam has created a marketplace for items, and they've shown that market.
Oh, that explains it, because the guy earlier said that it's because they do have value, don't they? You're absolutely right. It's because they have value, the reason why they're being struck. Because you can sell those skins and get money back on investment. Ha! Damn, there it is, huh?
Good place. I'm going to show you that in a second. And they've got, according to them,
I didn't understand what he was saying. I get it now.
And liquidity, which makes them a target for thieves. So we have to protect people from thieves, right? That's the state's interest, right? They say that users gamble in the act of opening.
Yo, WXQC.
The loot box. So by
that is a beautiful looking knife.
Opening the loot box, according to the state, that is gambling. And they also equate those to casino gambling in their danger to minors, saying, hey, we don't allow minors to gamble, and therefore we need to protect minors by stopping this because this is just like casino gambling. And one of the things I found quite interesting was their use, and these are exhibits from the actual complaint that the state filed. They have a little chart here showing the marketplace, which had the weekly, monthly, lifetime kind of value, the medium sale prices of items, and kind of showing that fluctuating around 105, 100, and putting that as evidence. Hey, look, here's a marketplace, and because there's a marketplace, this is gambling, right? This is something where there's a marketplace, and if there's a marketplace, you can gamble. They also put out here, and this is the...
You know, unfortunately, I think Valve is cooked. I honestly think, in my personal opinion, Valve might be cooked here. Because you can resell the skins that you get. I think they're cooked, man.
The Gamma Doppler butterfly knife from the game. And they put out here that, look, it's worth, and on the marketplace, $10,999, right? This is the value of this extraordinary item. This is $10,000 the game, and they put out here that, look, it's worth, and on the
that was him. That's him. That's not me.
$999, right? This is the value of this extraordinarily rare item. This is, according to the filings, the most high-end item there, and that makes it a danger. And to me, I was kind of laughing for a second, especially as a guy who's played Magic the Gathering, who's played Pokemon in the past. And if you guys,
bro, I was a huge Magic the Gatherer for a bit.
know anything about those, this Pikachu Illustrator here sold for a record price of $16.5 million in good condition. And then you had, of course, from Magic the Gathering, the Alpha Black Lotus. I never touched a Black Lotus myself.
From what I understand, these cards can go as high as like $500,000 on auction. Right?
Not a real one. I've seen some fake ones. And I've seen them in cases, but I've never played with one, so I wish I could play with one. But yes, it's an extremely rare card from Magic the Gathering, which sold for, I believe, about $3 million.
Oh my God, that blows everything I thought about it out of the water. Okay.
Very interesting to me that they point out the 10K cap, because other games and other places that use randomized cards or randomized pulls have very, very high value and also have a really established market for their buying, selling, trading.
Look here. Even as a child, whenever I got like, I think I probably got like a handful of packs in my entire life as a child. Whenever I would get a pack as a child, the first thing that came to my mind was this: how is this not gambling? And I even remember asking my mom that too. I was like, isn't this considered gambling? And she's like, no. And I'm like, but everything inside of it's random and it could be worth money. And then she kind of looked at me and she was like, huh. And then that was it.
That indeed is used by adults, but also by teens, whatever, who are selling, trading, engaging in marketplaces for these things. Very, very interesting to point out there. So what's really at threat? Well, what's at threat here is every game with random elements. And we can go to this, I think the top offenders, the ones that would go...
I take everything I see online with a grain of salt. I would advise everybody to do the exact same. If you are making your lifestyle based on everything you see online, do yourself and everyone else a favor and don't. There's a good portion of it that's all show to get views. There's another good portion of it that's all like misinformation and garbage. Even the legacy media is the same. At this point, I don't even know who to deter you guys to go and watch, honestly. I just kind of take the bits of information and suss it out using my mental brain power, and then I go from there. But I would absolutely recommend that no matter who you're watching, no matter where you're watching it at, always take it with a grain of salt.
Down first are the gacha games. So if Valve and these loot boxes go down, the gacha games are next on the list. They're 100% on the hit list. Mobile games, anything with pay to open plaque.
But I don't think that's the case because in a lot of these gacha games, you can't resell the skins. It's not possible. It's not like Counter-Strike. You can't, there's not an open market where you can just click on the skin and sell it. That's not a thing you can do for a gacha game, at least not that I'm aware of. It's different when it comes to Valve because you roll for in-game skins that go on the guns or knives, and then you can put that on the market to sell at a price. That's the difference.
So Genshin Impact,
I mean, I guess you could say that you could sell a console with the skins in the game or the account maybe, but like, how many kids are going to do that or even know how to do that? That's way more complicated than just clicking clicking twice on your mouse, you know, like that's different. Now I could get the Pokemon thing or the Yu-Gi-Oh or the Magic the Gathering card game thing. I get that. I can see that for sure. But this comparison to gacha games, I just don't see it. I'm sorry. Like that being able to sell the skins once you roll them, that's the definer here, in my opinion.
NBA 2K, all of that will be the same.
NBA, yeah. No, I can see 2K. People, NBA, 2K, all the football Madden ones, or I don't even know what the fuck they're called anymore. All the ones where you can roll for the cards and then you get the players. People have made their lives off of that as well. No, that definitely falls in that category as well. No, that absolutely falls in the category. People have made their lives on that. In fact, there was a viral video that went around like 2 years ago of a guy that like kicked his girl out because she deleted his account. Like he like smashed his PlayStation. Dude, people make their lives on that shit. They make money off of that.
Actually paying in for a random pull, and according to the state, they're saying, hey, we don't care that you get something. The fact that it's random is what's the problem. You've got digital collectible cards and random battle pass rewards, so Hearthstone, Legends of Runeterra, those would be at risk. You've got the physical analogs, Pokemon cards, Magic the Gathering, blind box figures, Funkos, etc. And you've got all those mystery subscription boxes that people like to buy that you don't know what you're going to get inside. And oh well, if one thing is worth than another, well, that's random and that's not fair.
I think that's the difference. I think that's the difference between a gacha game and let's say you buy a physical Funko Pop and it's like a hidden loot box, right? And you open it and it's like a super rare signed fucking, I don't know, Funko whatever, right? I feel like that's the difference is I could take that Funko Pop and sell it, but if it's a gacha game, you can't really sell that.
Right? And really any other randomized microtransaction. So any sort of bundle or item that you might pick up and receive something with a variable rarity where there's uncommon, common, rare, maybe legendary items, that would be at risk. So something like Fortnite or Roblox cosmetics even could be at risk here. So this affects a lot of games.
I feel like another downfall for the gacha would be like, because the gacha games, usually they tell you what your percent is to roll the skins that you want. So, like, it's, like, usually, like, 1 in 20. And usually it's, like, for example, it's, like, $100 to roll 20 boxes, right? And if you don't get that skin, there's no way you're going to get return on investment if you sell that skin to somebody. Like, you'd have to sell your whole account. You can't just take the skin and put it on a marketplace. You'd have to sell your whole account. And the return on investment for that account just wouldn't be there. Because think about it, that's one skin. Think about how much money it costs for the other skins. You'd never get your return on investment. But if you buy like 7 loot boxes, or I don't know how you get the loot boxes in Counter-Strike other than buying them, but if you play a few matches, I'm sure you get some too, right? And then you roll and you get a knife skin that's worth $11,000. Like, shit, how could you beat that?
This isn't just those.
And then you can sell it straight up.
Loot boxes that they're trying to point out in 1 or 2 games. So what is Valve's defense? Well, Valve has actually a lot of defenses here, and that's a good thing for Valve. So what they have to defend on is they can say, hey, look, there's no true risk or wager because these things are resulting in something. It's not like a casino spin at a slot machine where if you put in a coin or put in $1, whatever, you're going to get potentially nothing, right? You could have no reward. You're going to get something. There's going to be something you're getting out of that, even if it's not worth as much as something with another rarity. It's sort of like, as a lawyer comrade of mine said to me, if you went to the state fair and there was sort of lottery where you draw straws, and if you get the right straw, you get a reward. If you don't, you get the straw in the bucket. Well, you're getting something, right?
Oh shit! I didn't know that. I didn't know that Valve made money whenever they sold the skins. I did not know that.
Nothing. And as long as you're getting
I did
something,
not know that.
that really doesn't fall in the definition for casino gambling risks or wagers. The other thing is, if you really look at the statute closely, and this is something I think they didn't do, virtual items are not a thing of value under gambling statutes, and there's separate case law in other places where they've ruled in Valve's favor on this and other companies' favor on this. Valve actually won a law.
They're not like that right now. That needs to change, though. It does. A lot of these games that have these gotcha mechanics, these loot boxes and all that, they need to push that to be 18 and plus. They need to. It's gambling. And if you're a child and you get a hold of it, it's underage gambling. Like, that's how it is. That's what it is.
Lawsuit in Washington, and there's been several class actions revolving.
But remember, guys, we don't want term limits on the senators because they know what they're doing. Clearly they know what the fuck they're doing.
Over saying it's really not a thing of value, meaning you're not going to be able to directly convert that to money, right? You'd have to go through some sort of gray market, etc., to convert that to money. The other thing is that the randomness is in distribution, not separate from the product. So it's not something where the randomness, once again, is in the pull and you don't know whether you're going to get something. The randomness is just in the distribution of rarity. And that's a very common game mechanic in many games as to getting something. And that's part of the reward system for the game. That's part of the enjoy of the game, is not knowing what you're going to get and potentially getting something very valuable or having to try again. The other thing is the First Amendment protects game design. That's something well established in case law. And if you're taking away elements of randomness from all games, we're going to have to purge that from everywhere. That's going to cause a massive shift.
That sounds like a fucking conflict of interest. Hold on, wait a minute. So you have to be 18 and older to gamble based on laws, but at the same time, the United States Constitution says that you can't alter games? How the fuck does that even, like, what? How? How is that even a thing? Bro, that sounds like a damn exploit. Let me tell you something, we need to patch that bitch out right now.
In development and make people have to
Well, it's no wonder why all these damn developers are doing that.
Games wildly different because, well, we can't have randomness anymore because, well, that's going to be unfair. That's gambling, right? And I think the existing case law, as I mentioned, the cases that Valve has won in Washington.
I hate to break it to you, but it is. It is gambling. That's absolutely what it is. You buy something and you're hoping to get something of value and you don't. That's gambling. Now, the percentages are definitely better than going to a casino, for sure. But at the end of the day, you're pulling the handle and watching all the things line up all the same. You're gambling. That's what it is.
The class actions, those come in on the favor of
I think
Valve.
that this lawsuit is fucking stupid, but they definitely need laws to protect kids from being able to gamble on these sites, for sure.
Defense of Valve, because this is really something that other states, other places haven't chosen to regulate in the same way. And there are some safeguards that Valve could do to make this really go away. And if they wanted to implement any of these, and I'm not saying they implement all of these, but any of these changes would be more than enough to defeat this lawsuit by Letitia Jones and New York. They could stop key sales in New York and just say, okay, fine, we're not selling keys in New York. That's more of a patchwork thing. I would hope they would fight on that to try to keep that going if they're going to do it just in New York and not everywhere. The other thing is they could shift to free in-game drops.
I think the United States Constitution is probably going to back them. They're probably going to fight it in court and win. I do. Because they're trying to use state laws to tell the United States federal government and the Constitution what they can and can't do. It's not going to work for them. It's not. Like, the federal government is the be-all, end-all for everything, so you're not going to overturn the federal government. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen.
Done that in places.
Now, maybe
like
they'll find some kind of, like, loophole or trick, or maybe the judge is on their side, and they'll give it to the people that are trying to sue Valve, simply for that, like a biased judge. But all things considered, there's no reason why Valve should lose this.
in the Netherlands where they've had issues over this, and that's something they could do potentially. They could also have stricter age verification for people, so that would eliminate that argument that this is affecting minors. They could also have
I promise you it's not. I can almost guarantee you the people that play Counter-Strike are all adults. A lot of those guys are like older too. A lot of them have made their careers just getting the skins and playing the game and streaming it sometimes, I'm sure, but
tradable soulbound items, so that would eliminate any marketplace argument or any perceived value. The other thing is they could just disclose on these things the exact pre-purchase odds and the expected value you're going to get out of that. So saying, okay, the expected value is this, right? So if you're going to purchase it, okay, you're going to purchase and the EV might be lower than the purchase, maybe you'll make a decision not to purchase that. You could also put in spending limits, daily, weekly, whatever, to keep spending low and prevent people from going overboard with gambling, if that's what you think this is, right? Debatable. Once again, Valve would say this isn't. You could also enhance parental controls if you're worried about the children, and implement what a lot of gacha systems have, a pity system or some sort of non-RNG system to craft or make those legendary items, perhaps when you level up or have certain level of access.
Buying a pack of Pokemon cards is indeed gambling. It is. And you know why it is? Because if you get a Charizard in there that's worth $200,000, well, what else is it if it's not gambling? You spent money, even whenever... To give you an example, my mom used to love the penny machines at the casinos. She would go there, and she would walk out with $200 every fucking time. I don't know how she did it. But she would sit there and play that penny machine, and play that penny machine, and play that penny machine, and she would always double it. She would always double her money. And she would always stop, too. She would never go crazy. She would always stop. She got value for the money she put in. That's exactly what you're doing when you buy a pack of Pokemon cards, Yu-Gi-Oh cards, Magic the Gathering. It's the exact same thing. The packs. Now, if you buy the boxes where it says on the back what's in it, that's not the same. But if you buy the packs, that is absolutely gambling.
And the last thing is you could just do third-party auditing and say, hey, we're going to just audit this to see how much of a danger this is, and we're going to do that on a regular basis. Any one or multiple of these things could definitely defeat the lawsuit by Letitia James in New York. But here's my judgment. In my judgment, this lawsuit represents really a serious attack on gaming marketplaces, particularly digital gaming marketplaces. Valve has a strong incentive to fight this lawsuit and a basis to win on existing law. And if they consider implementing just one or more of these safeguards to prevent future litigation related to gambling and minors, I think they're going to be in the clear. But I want to know what you guys think, and I want to know what you think about loot boxes. Are they gambling? Is it bad? Should they go away?
Yeah, I don't think they should go away. I think that they should regulate it more to where kids can't get a hold of it. Genuinely. Where are we at? 9:12. So we're gonna watch this idiot. She's on chart. This is a TikToker who killed her boyfriend. We're gonna be switching over to all the political stuff soon. Oh wait, why is this here? Move that back. We got lots of new stuff. Or should we wait till... No. We'll watch this now. So, check out Atozy. So, we're gonna watch this girl who seems to think that, court is a joke. She's sitting there laughing and having a grand old time in court after she, allegedly ended her boyfriend's life. So let's see how this goes.
I guess she's also blowing kisses in court. Welcome back to another episode of What in the World is Going On with these darn influencers, because for some reason...
That's right, guys. When you get over a certain amount of followers, then you turn into a pedo. Like, didn't you know?
Bunch of them just can't act right. So, okay, after sitting in jail for more than 3 years awaiting trial, and after being denied bond, yet again, she shows up to a motions hearing, sticking her tongue out and puckering up at the people.
So she's already been in jail for how long?
She shows up to a for more than 3 years awaiting trial, and can't act right. So, okay, after sitting in jail for more than 3 years awaiting...
She's sitting in jail for 3 years. Bro, she's accepted she's going to be there forever. She's in court after 3 years of sitting in jail. There's no way. She thinks this is all a joke, man. See, this is what I'm saying. Like, how come we don't have work camps like China? That's what we need. We could be making so much money off of these people that take other people's lives. Like, you owe a debt to society if you take someone's life. You took a hard-working individual out of society that could have been a taxpayer, could have contributed to the community, but now they're dead because a murderer killed them. Why don't we take that murderer, instead of letting them sit in jail and get 2 meals a day with a roof over their head and sending them on a fucking vacation where they can sit in court and fucking blow kisses and act like a fucking schizo? Why don't we just take them, put them in a work camp and force them to make batteries for the rest of their fucking lives? Like, why don't we do that? Why is this not a thing? Like, if you've got a life sentence and you're going to be in jail until you die, why don't they just force these people to work? Make them turn big rocks into little rocks all day long. Why are we even questioning this? Well, I mean, that's how you could save a lot of money right there, by not sourcing materials outside of the U.S. Build a bunch of prison camps. This is crazy to me. I'll never understand this. There's so many raw materials that we can get out of the earth that we could use by using these people as labor. But no, now they're just sitting in a 4x4 cell doing fuck all, like 24/7. That's stupid.
Denied bond.
Like, prison is a vacation to these people.
Yet again, she shows up to a motions hearing, sticking her tongue out.
How's it going, Alex?
Staring up at the people in the courtroom. Okay, ma'am, you're charged with second-degree murder. You're about to stand trial this spring. Why are you acting like...
So it's cruel and unusual punishment to work. Think about what you just said. That's cruel and unusual. It's cruel and unusual to work. Think about what you just said. I'm not saying beat them. I'm not saying work them to death. I'm saying make them work. You can't claim that's cruel and unusual punishment. Everyone has to work. Exactly.
This. Because if you're claiming self-defense and your entire future depends on a jury believing you were terrified and had no other choice, why are you blowing kisses like this is some sort of like red carpet event? Like, hello? And also, like, I know a lot of you guys are probably lost here, but the story starts in April 2022 because police were then called to a luxury apartment building in Miami. And inside the apartment,
we doing good.
27-year-old Christian Toby Obumseli, no longer responsive. Courtney here took his life.
It's also cruel and unusual to murder somebody. Maybe they should have thought about that while they were killing somebody. When you kill somebody, you're no longer a human in my eyes. You're a monster. You should be put away for the rest of your life because you have taken a member of society. You have killed somebody. You're never coming out of jail anyway. And you know what's crazy? Is that people who say that don't understand that it's better for your mental health to have something to do all day than to sit there and do nothing in a cell or go to the yard. I guarantee you would reduce the amount of people trying to kill each other in prison if you worked them to the point where they're too damn exhausted to kill each other. You would reduce prison fatalities by an insane margin if you just gave and made these people do work. You would save more people's lives by forcing these people to do work and stay in jail. You would.
Life with a knife, and she's claiming self-defense. And Courtney Clemmy, she's a TikToker, Instagram model, and OF girl, and she has millions of followers, and she's known online as Courtney Taylor. But by the time first responders arrived, Toby was bleeding heavily and would later lose his life to those injuries.
In the next room,
I worked 48-hour shifts, motherfucker. I was a firefighter. I worked 48 hours straight. I would have one day off in between, and I would have to turn around and do another 48-hour shift. You're not shit. I've saved people's fucking lives for a community that I didn't even live in. Why don't you shut the fuck up and accept your permaban, retard? Bye.
Paramedics are trying to help Christian.
Sit down.
Obviously, you don't work enough if you in the ass into the internet on my stream saying stupid shit. Maybe you should get another job.
Why are you yelling at me? Do not move, sit down. Okay. Oh my god.
Courtney is begging to see him, but police explain she cannot go back inside because the apartment is considered a crime scene.
I'm covered in his blood because I'm trying to save
I understand
him. I'm trying to save him.
I understand that.
And if I don't, and you can't, then what will I do with him?
All right.
I need him. He's like my other half.
And Courtney didn't deny what happened. She acknowledged that she ended his life, but said that she was acting in self-defense. She told investigators that Toby had pushed her and thrown her.
I don't have to anymore. I don't need to either.
Floor, then claimed that she grabbed a knife.
I loved that job, by the way. If you hear a fireman say that it's the best job ever, it's absolutely the best job you'll ever have. I left because of the schedule. I fucking hated the schedule. Most fire department schedules are 48-96, which is 2 days on, 4 days off, 4 days off. Think about that for a second. 4 days. Like, if you work the weekend, that's crazy. Like, dude. Nah, like, I saw that schedule and I was like, hell yeah. But dude, like, just working there, it's the best job you'll ever have. Everyone there's so supportive. And they all work out together. They all eat together. Dude, it's the best job you'll ever have. Hands down.
Threw it at him from about 10 feet away. And that's the version of events her defense has stood by. But it's safe to say the medical examiner's stories complicated that story, because the autopsy concluded that Albumcelli, he passed away from a forceful downward thrust from a blade that went 3 inches into his chest, which, you know, was...
it's like, working EMS is not for everybody, but if you've got the mentality for it and you've got the drive for it, it absolutely is the best job in the world. Absolutely. Bro, I remember putting on, because we had to go to schools, right? We had to do presentations at schools. I remember I had just gotten a brand new set of bunker gear and I put it on for the kid. Like, I was like, because whenever I was growing up, people were terrified of the bunker gear, bro. The community that I worked for, they heavily loved their fire department, bro. Like, the support that I saw from these kids, like, they were like, okay, now walk up and down the aisle and let them touch the bunker gear, let them get used to it, so that way they're not scared of it. I started, bro, these kids were getting up and hugging me. I shit you not. I've never seen anything like it. Like, these were like preschoolers, elementary. Like, I was shocked. Like, whenever I was in elementary, I saw a bunch of kids crying like little bitches. I was like, oh, that looks cool. But like, I didn't think much of it. And thinking about it now, I'm like, holy crap, like, the community loves the fire. Like, this community is amazing. It was crazy.
Piercing a major artery. And investigators essentially say that the fatal wound could not have been caused by a knife thrown from that distance. And that's the detail which has people questioning everything about her story. Because thrown knife versus downward plunge, that's the question. And this has been the biggest point of tension for the entire case. But she wasn't arrested that day or even the next day. In fact, she wasn't taken into custody until 4 months later, in August of 2022, because then she was arrested in Hawaii at a rehab facility, and she was then extradited back to Florida to face a charge of second-degree murder. And at the time of her arrest, Miami-Dade State Attorney Catherine Fernandez-Rundle described the incident as coming from a tempestuous and combative relationship that began in November of 2020. And that relationship had already drawn attention long before Toby lost his life, because the couple had previously lived in Austin, Texas. And there, a former neighbor said that their fights were so frequent and intense that, according to reporting at the time, police were called to their residence multiple times.
Damn.
So after moving to Miami, prosecutors said the violence continued and that their building was even preparing to evict them because of the repeated disturbances. Like, do you know how bad the fighting has to be to get evicted over fighting? Then, video surfaces from a trip the couple took to Aspen just months before Toby's life was ended.
I think that it depends on the apartments that you live in or the place you stay in. Because, like, I've heard stories of streamers getting fired for getting evicted for being too loud. Like, it's actually not that unheard of. And in that it all depends on your landlord.
Courtney
and obviously the people around you.
Him repeatedly during an argument. I'm unsure how much we could actually show of that footage here, but it looks bad.
Sober for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. And now why am I not sober? Because of you.
New video shows model Courtney Clenny hitting then boyfriend Christian Obumcelli over a dozen times while on a trip in Aspen, Colorado. This is one
Bro can't even take a damn trip with his girlfriend without being like that's crazy, man. See, we need to take these people and we need to like dye their hair green or red on purpose so that way people know they're toxic. See, like most of these crazy schizos, they automatically do that, then they get their septum piercings, right? And then people just know automatically that they're crazy. But, like, for these people that are hidden like this, we got to do that to them on purpose.
More than 100 pieces of evidence released to the Obumseli family civil attorney as part of the investigation.
In that video, you can see Courtney acting erratically. You can see her hitting Christian.
How much y'all want to bet she has a septum piercing? How much y'all want to bet she's got a nose ring? Bet. That's what a septum piercing is, by the way. It's a nose ring. How much y'all want to bet she had a nose ring before she got locked up? She probably had dyed hair, too.
Multiple times, which unfortunately is consistent with her behavior throughout this entire case.
But her attorney later described the relationship as toxic and said that evidence exists that Obumseli physically abused Courtney on prior occasions, and on April 3rd, 2022, Courtney was forced to defend herself from Obumseli's physical attack. Well, I mean, it's hard to say because we weren't there and we don't have camera footage of what happened. But to me, it looks like there's also evidence that Courtney did this back to Toby. So, from the beginning, this case has not been simple whatsoever. On one side, you have a woman claiming self-defense and what she describes as an abusive relationship. On the other side, you have forensic evidence that prosecutors argue does not match up to her story. And as this case...
Then I guess I'm going to go with the forensic professionals that have spent years and decades doing their job. I guess I'm just going to have to go with the professional's opinion then. And that's the beautiful thing about a professional being a non-biased professional, is that you can respect and probably trust their opinion most of the time.
Case has moved forward, it's only become more and more complicated because it wasn't just Courtney who ended up facing charges, her parents did as well. Well, that definitely doesn't make her look good. And Kim and Deborah Clenny were taken into custody in Texas.
And you know that's kind of bullshit. Because if you sitting there slapping him across the face, you're not scared of that man. You are not scared of him whatsoever. You sitting there making a big old scene, slapping him in the face. You're not scared of him. You're not scared of him.
On out-of-state felony charges connected to the case. Because according to the arrest warrant affidavit, Kim, Deborah, and Courtney were charged with one count of unauthorized access of a computer system, or electronic device belonging to Christian Obumseli.
Oh, damn, it's Chad!
Obumseli's laptop had been taken from a Miami apartment after his passing and accessed without permission. And the Obumseli family's attorneys released a statement saying the Obumseli family is saddened to hear the reports that Courtney's parents illegally took possession of Christian's laptop. And this is yet another disturbing reminder of the horrible crimes committed against their family.
Their cluster bomb was promised 3,000 years ago.
The Clenny's family's attorney fired back, basically saying that they were saddened to hear her parents were arrested, and it was an overstep by the prosecution. They also said, "We believe the Clenny family has been targeted with some trumped-up charges to discredit them in the press and make their lives miserable. It stinks of a power play by prosecutors to control the narrative." So now, not only was Courtney facing a murder charge, her parents were facing felony charges tied to alleged computer access. And in July of 2024, the computer hacking charges were dropped because of a circuit judge ruled that Miami-Dade State Attorney's Office violated attorney-client privilege when investigators seized text messages and emails between Courtney, her parents, and her attorneys. And that doesn't mean that they didn't take the computer, it just means the investigators got a hold of information that was meant to be between Courtney's family and their lawyers. And on the murder charge side of things, Courtney was charged with second-degree murder. When she first went into the judge...
I mean, that's what happens whenever... Look here. If you have a knife and you are trying to obviously kill somebody, and you do that, and the other person did not have any weapon, well, unfortunately, it doesn't look very good for you. If you knew how much force it takes a lot of force and effort to kill somebody with a knife. I'm sorry, it does. Like, even whenever I was going through college as an EMT, the way the administrator was explaining it was like, you have to literally be crazy to end up stabbing somebody more than a couple times. Because the amount of force and the amount of exertion it takes to break the skin with a knife is a lot. It's a lot. So this lady is probably absolutely bonkers.
Her legal team pushed for a bond. They argued that she was not a flight risk and that she should be allowed to await trial outside of jail. But the judge disagreed. She was denied bond and she's been behind bars ever since. Over the next few months, though, more evidence started coming out. And through all this, through the public hearings, the public statements, the video evidence, the parents' arrest, Courtney Clenny she remained in jail. And by the time 2025 rolled around, Courtney Clenny had been in jail for more than 3 years. So her defense team tried again. In December, she was back in court asking the judge to reconsider bond. Her attorneys argued that she didn't have the money she once did. They said that she wasn't a flight risk and that she didn't pose a danger to the community. They told the court that if she was to be released, she would go back to Texas and live with her parents in BK. And prosecutors argued that the evidence presented by the defense did not change the situation and that Clenny should not be considered for bond. The judge also agreed with the state and bond was denied yet again, which means, you know.
Yeah, scalpels are a good example of that. Scalpels are insanely sharp. Or, oh my God, what is that little knife? An X-Acto knife is another example. Like if you've ever actually tried to pick up an X-Acto knife blade and you end up cutting yourself, they're super razor sharp.
She has to wait in jail until her trial. But the December hearing did actually lead to a trial date. So the judge set the trial to begin on April 27, 2026. And prosecutors said they believe the case would take less than 2 weeks to present. So after years of legal back and forth, after motions, hearings, and privilege disputes, and public statements, this case finally has a clock on it. Spring of 2026.
I don't know. Why are you permabanned? Oh, damn, how'd that happen? Damn, that's unfortunate. Whoa, that's crazy.
I mean, honestly, the stakes could not be higher because if convicted, she could face life in prison. Her defense is still centered around the self-defense, but they also have pushed for the case to be considered manslaughter instead of second-degree murder. And the prosecution maintains that the evidence shows an intentional act, pointing again to the autopsy finding of a forceful downward thrust. And that couldn't
well, like, that's another thing is, like, if she sat there and sharpened that knife to the point where it was razor sharp, then it could be premeditated murder. So, like, or premeditated manslaughter, actually, I think that's where it goes. Unless they have proof that she sat there and sharpened it for specifically that reason, which would make it premeditated. But it wasn't premeditated, so I would assume it was in the moment kind of thing.
Being thrown from 10 feet away. And I guess at this time, a jury will eventually decide, was this self-defense during a violent domestic dispute, or was it all intentional? And then, just as trial season was approaching, she walked into court last week and went viral once again, because this court appearance was for, I guess, her emotions hearing ahead of the trial. So this wasn't her trial itself. This was one of those hearings where lawyers argue about what evidence the jury will and won't see. And before the proceedings even began, she started making faces at the people in the courtroom. And according to reporting from the hearing, Clenny was seen sticking out her tongue and puckering like she wanted someone's kiss. Like, again, ma'am, your life is on the line here. Why are you acting like this? But she's been in jail for more than 3 years. She's facing second-degree murder charges, and, you know, she could spend the rest of her life.
She's acting like that because I think she's already accepted the fact that she's going to be there. That's what I'm saying. Like, we need to start treating these prisons like prisons and less like vacations. That's what we need to do.
And this is what she's deciding to do.
These people need to be crying in court, begging and pleading not to end up in jail. That's what they need.
Yeah. But her defense team...
But she's already been in there. She's been in there for 3 years or however fucking long that he said. And she's out here doing this kind of shit. You see, if people were scared to go back to a place, they wouldn't be doing all that. They'd be dotting their I's and crossing their T's and being on their best behavior.
Prosecutor's expert witnesses, Dr. Michael Brandon. Because apparently the issue is that Brandon had sued the defense proposed expert, Dr. Lenore Walker, for defamation more than 20 years ago. And the case was settled with an agreement that they would not personally malign with each other. And Walker testified that it would make her uncomfortable to remain involved if Brandon stayed in the case. Basically, the defense and the prosecution's star witnesses are fighting on top of everything else happening here. So, that makes this case even more interesting. But Brandon testified that there's no reason why both sides...
You can scare somebody that has nothing to lose, because every human being has one thing on this earth that we don't want to lose, that we hold sacred. I bet ain't none of y'all gonna guess what the hell that is either. Her life. That's the one thing. And if she gets the death penalty, I guarantee you she's gonna be crying like a bitch. But instead of her being scared to go off to a work camp, was what we should have in America, she's sitting there in court knowing that whenever she gets convicted of a life sentence, she's going on vacation for the rest of her life. She's never going to have to worry about getting bills paid. She's never going to have to worry about holding down a job. She's going to get 2 square meals a day, and that's going to be it. That's going to be it for the rest of her life. You're sending these people on vacation. It's like Section 8. Like, come on. Obviously, it's not as the same, but for the most part,
This can continue after everyone keeps it professional. But Judge Andrea Wolfson denied the defense's motion, and there was also a fight over recordings. Because prosecutors also want to introduce recordings that Christian Almoncelli secretly made of Courtney before his passing. And the defense argued those recordings were illegal recordings and should be excluded. And Judge Wolfson ruled to exclude most of them, but we'll still see some of these secret recordings when the trial comes around. Because recordings made in the apartment's lobby and on the balcony can be used, ruling there was no reasonable expectation of privacy in those areas. So apparently, some of that audio will also be played for a jury.
I'm actually not having a good day, or I actually literally want to kill you, but you don't take me seriously.
So her trial is set to begin on April 27, 2026. 12 people will be asked to decide whether this was self-defense in a volatile relationship or whether this was an intentional act. And honestly, when you're about to ask 12 strangers to believe you were terrified for your life, blowing kisses in court doesn't really seem like the best idea. So, hey, this will be interesting to see how it all plays out. But until then,
I don't know. I think that she doesn't really care. I mean, there's not really any actual punishment if she gets life in prison. Let's be honest here. All right. You know, we gotta talk about Iran. We're gonna move that stuff back there. We'll move it back. All right, here we go. We got the Pentagon, boys. Let's get it. Let's get it.
Well, good afternoon. I'm honored to stand right here today alongside one of America's finest, Admiral Brad Cooper, commander of U.S. Central Command. We just had a chance to spend a couple of hours together.
Oh yeah, hit the, speaking of that, before we start getting into this, hit the sub button, hit the like button. We're here Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to noon, 8 a.m. to 11:30. We have I just actually, as of today, am live streaming on Rumble as well. So I got Rumble, Kick, Twitch, YouTube, big and small. We have the shorts feed and the big feed going. I have a TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. We do YouTube shorts. I'm going to start posting to Rumble now as well. My videos. I'll probably pick, because I usually take the stream and cut it up and then upload it to YouTube in the individual videos. If you miss a stream, don't worry about it. All the streams are here on YouTube, and I'm not going to take any of them down, so you can visit any of the other sites as well. Yeah, just, every little bit helps. We also have a membership. If you join the membership on YouTube, then you get exclusive emotes. If I get enough people to join the membership, I'll probably, because I usually have videos posted for the weekend, I'll probably make those members only until they go live at 2:30. But you don't really have to pay for memberships because the stream is there and all the videos are from the stream. So that's just kind of a nice little gesture, I guess. But yeah, stick around.
Part of 2 hours going through the
I take the weekends off because I need to recoup brain cells because there's a lot of brain dead people that usually get in my chat.
Of this this Operation Epic Fury. And Admiral, I want to thank you for everything you do in your incredible leadership, for your dynamic thinking, the way you're attacking this problem set on every level. In just days of Operation Epic Fury, you and your team have delivered nothing short of devastating, precise strikes, taking out the better part of Iran's navy, making it combat ineffective, neutralizing missile sites and
I can't increase sound.
And establishing total dominance.
If you guys have another link,
flyover and seas.
I'll take it.
Our forces are executing with unmatched skill, and the mission is advancing decisively.
Great.
This is the kind of no-nonsense, results-driven warfighting that America demands.
Based.
And you're delivering it in spades. You are the man for this moment. Admiral Cooper, on behalf of the President, the Department of War, and every
That's right,
American
Epic
watching,
Fury, you damn straight.
I want to thank you for your outstanding job you and CENTCOM are doing. Keep pressing the fight, and we are with you all the way.
Based.
A few thoughts before I hand it over to the Admiral for an update. Iran is hoping that we cannot sustain this.
Uh-oh.
Which is a really bad miscalculation for the IRGC in Iran. You see,
it's kind of funny that they're expecting us not to. They pre-planned for 4 weeks of this. That's 4 weeks of blowing up whatever they decide to bring out into the open. Like, there's no way they really think that we're bluffing with that, right?
There's no
surely there's no way.
American will here. We remember and honor our fallen. Those 6 that we will soon welcome.
We've lost 6 men. They've lost hundreds, if not thousands. Like, they're losing so bad. They're posting AI propaganda on Twitter, and Twitter's had to step in and be like, no. They're doing that, and let me tell you why they're doing the propaganda. It's to demoralize the Iranian people that are there. And by the way, they've ordered another shoot-on-sight order for the Iranian people, the IRGC, that if they are protesting or, you know, out in the streets doing anything they don't normally do, like protesting, they will be shot and killed. That's what they've already announced. You can go look it up. It's already been announced. They did it yesterday.
Everything for their country.
So they're still trying to oppress these Iranian people.
Remember them. But we remember them by rededicating ourselves even more fervently to this mission. Our commitment to our mission objectives only increases as our advantages continue to increase.
Great.
We've got no shortage of munitions. Our stockpiles of defensive and offensive weapons allow us to sustain this campaign as long as we need to. Again, our munition status only increases as our advantage increases.
Did they forfeit?
So we just get more and more of them.
Capabilities, we have only just begun to fight, and fight decisively. Having a chance to hear from Admiral Cooper.
Use the laser
beam. If you
beam.
think you've seen something, just wait. The amount of combat power that's still flowing, that's still coming, that will be able to project over Iran is a multiples of what it currently is right now when you add up our capabilities
nothing yet.
And those of the Israeli Defense Force.
Shit.
And we have no shortage of authorities. The Admiral
Just
knows
wait.
we have clear objectives with maximum authorities on the battlefield. The dumb, politically correct wars of the past were the opposite of what we're doing here. They had vague objectives with restrictive, minimalist rules of engagement. No more. Our authorities, his authorities, CENTCOM's authorities through the
What's
president.
really sad is this same thing could have happened when we were doing the Afghan war. But it sucks that so many American soldiers lost their lives for such a needless cause. We never needed to have those soldiers on bases in Afghanistan and Iraq. We never needed that.
And myself are maxed out.
Our
Our
Iran,
capabilities are overwhelming and gathering still.
Oh, wow.
As are those of our Israeli partners. Our munitions are full up, and our will is ironclad, which means our timeline
They're war maxing?
is ours and ours alone to control.
Mm-hmm.
As long as it takes to ensure the United States of America achieves these objectives. And as we flow more forces, and as we flow more capabilities, and as our munitions, as we're flying over the top, have even more devastating effects, we set the tempo, we set the timeline, led by the commander on the ground. Our ear is to the ground to listen to Admiral Cooper, what he needs, and what he needs he will get. We are built for this fight, and we are in it to win it. And we have the right commander in the lead. So I'll now hand it over to Admiral Brad Cooper to give you an update right here from CENTCOM. Admiral.
All right, let's see how it's going.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon, and welcome to U.S. Central Command Headquarters, America's Warfighting Headquarters. It's great to be here alongside the Secretary and representing the more than 50,000 men and women in uniform currently executing Operation Epic Fury. So, Mr. Secretary, first, thank you very much for your leadership and support and the very clear
Seeing if the audio is going to be better.
that you've given us to allow us to use overwhelming force against the vision and objectives that you've given us to allow us to use overwhelming force against the Iranian terrorist regime. And thanks to all of you for attending today, and welcome to Tampa. We are now starting our 6th day of a historic mission to eliminate Iran's ability to threaten Americans. We are, if I could channel my inner Navy officer, we are at full speed ahead in executing orders given by leadership in Washington.
Big deal.
The President and Secretary Hegseth have been crystal clear in their expectations, and we are at a high level of execution. As described by the Secretary and earlier this week by me, U.S. combat power is building as Iranian combat power declines.
I bet it is.
Our air dominance allows us to hit Iran's center of gravity with overwhelming power and reach.
Gravity?
A couple of examples.
Like what?
In just the last 72 hours, America's bomber force has struck nearly 200 targets deep inside of Iran, including around Tehran.
Great.
And in just the last hour, U.S. B-2 bombers dropped dozens of 2,000-pound penetrator bombs targeting deeply buried ballistic missile launchers.
You can't fight that, man. Like, even the shit you got buried under the ground is getting blown the fuck up. Like, why are you even trying at this point?
Notably, we've also struck Iran's equivalent
In the
of
last
Space
hour?
Command, which degrades their ability to threaten Americans. Then, if I just look back over the last 24 hours of the operation compared to where we were at its start, ballistic missile attacks have decreased by 90% since day one.
That's Iran's
Drone
ballistic
attacks
missiles.
have decreased by 83% since day one. Having said this, we remain vigilant. Our strikes against the Iranian Navy have intensified. You may have heard the president say just a little while ago that we have sunk or destroyed 24 ships. That was true at the moment. We're now up over 30 ships. And
Damn.
in just the last few hours, we hit an Iranian drone carrier ship, roughly the size of a world.
I remember that Iranian drone carrier ship.
War II aircraft carrier.
Where is
and
it
as
now?
we speak, it's on fire.
Oh!
The president
Shit.
gave us another task
It's
to
on
raise
fire.
or level Iran's ballistic missile industrial base.
Raise
so we're not
the-
just hitting what
what?
they have, we're destroying their ability to rebuild.
Oh my
And so as
God.
we transition to the next phase
Yeah,
of this
they hit whenever they did the Operation Epic Fury, one of their targets or a couple of their targets even were a bunch of missile manufacturing facilities. So they're taking out everything from the top down, honestly.
operation, we will systemically dismantle Iran's missile production capability for the future, and that's absolutely in progress. This is going to take some time, but our forces are well supplied, as the Secretary said, and we are absolutely ready to prosecute this mission decisively. Our combined joint forces have relentlessly destroyed Iran's air defenses over the past few days, and they've continued hunting for more systems to kill. Our air defenders are operating at the very top of their game. I couldn't be prouder, shoulder to shoulder with our partners in the region in many cases, providing the
Damn,
most
so now they trying to hide, so they took one out in the Indian Ocean? That's hilarious, bro.
integrated
You got
air
these
defense
people on a run.
network.
Man, you saw them like I saw a couple of images of them they shaved their beard. So like in Iran, if you don't have your beard to a certain length, I think it's like chest length, you can actually get arrested, and I'm sure they do other shit to you. But if you don't have it to a certain length, you get into a lot of trouble, like a lot of trouble. Like the hijabs, if the women don't wear their hijabs the right way. I mean, we all know the stories of what happened to them. They had shaved their beards off. People, part of the IRGC, they shaved their beards off, and they put face masks on, and they were trying to flee the country. They were all wearing the uniforms.
We are fighting to win. Through combined U.S. and Israeli combat power, we will continue decimating Iran's ability to project power outside its borders.
Fucking
And if I can just
Let's go.
conclude by saying a strong salute to the brave men and women who are out on the pointy edge of this, really doing exceptional work. I just couldn't be prouder, and I know the American people share in that same pride. So thank you very much.
Absolutely. And with that, we'll take a few questions. Yeah. right
Uh-oh,
ahead.
here we go.
Appreciate it. Admiral, I wanted to ask, or Mr. Secretary, the Ukrainian president said today that the U.S. has asked for specific capabilities to deal with shutdown drones. Can you guys talk about what you asked for, and has there been any surprise?
If we ask the Ukraine military for something.
That you guys have seen in the past 6 days?
Go ahead. So we're very familiar with Iranians' capabilities, and as you might imagine, we planned for it right from the outset, and I feel good about what the plan was. Like any good organization, we adjust as necessary to meet the environment, and we've made those appropriate adjustments.
Absolutely. Right here.
Thanks, Secretary. I had two for both of you. One, was an American pilot shot down today in Iraq? And two...
Alleged. So Iran posted a propaganda video of them shooting down or capturing a B-2 bomber. By the way, it's never happened. No one in the history of the world has been able to catch a B-2 bomber or blow one out of the sky. And it's funny that they're posting propaganda of a B-2 bomber being blown out of the sky.
I've heard reports that there's enriched uranium stored in Isfahan. Also heard reports that there's not a lot of bombing there. Is that on purpose? Do we believe there's enriched uranium there? And would we ever send special forces to secure it?
As CENTCOM pointed out, that those reports of an F-15 being shot down are false. As you can imagine, Iran is doing everything it can to peddle in lies, deception.
I'm so happy they say this too. They need to shut down this misinformation, and people like him, they need to say that it is in fact misinformation. It is lies. And it's like some reporters are fucking stupid, but it's a good thing she asked about this because they need to announce that it is misinformation. It's a lie. It's propaganda.
And inflation of numbers in reality, mostly to propagandize to their own people, right?
It's to demoralize them and keep them from rising up against the government. That's why.
Internet. They're hoping they can convince their own population that they're having success. One thing one of their leaders said recently is that 500 Americans have been killed, they claim. These are lies. The lies will continue. CENTCOM will continue to debunk those lies. So, and as often is the case in conflict, first reports are often wrong. As it pertains to nuclear material and things like that, one of the objectives the president has always said is that Iran will not have a nuclear bomb, nuclear capabilities, but we would never disclose what we will or will not do inside operational plans. Yep. So Admiral Cooper's got a plan. We're working that plan, and targets will be
They always do that, too. They always ask, well, what's the plan for X, Y, and Z? And it's like, dude, why would you disclose that? Why would they talk? You really think they're just going to say it before they've done it? Like, come on. Why even ask that question?
Or not struck according to what we want to achieve. Yeah, right there.
Secretary Hegseth, the president said earlier today in an interview that he would like to have a say in who's the next leader of Iran. Yeah. Is this an expansion of your military objective? You view it that way? And additionally, you spoke earlier today about how previous leaders have drawn resources from our hemisphere to the Middle East. Mm-hmm. How do you avoid that?
Well, there's no expansion. Ultimately, I think the president's having a heck of a say in who runs Iran, given the ongoing operation we have. So there's no expansion in our objectives. Yeah. We know exactly what we're trying to achieve. I think today's a great example of what this War Department is capable of doing. I was just in another part of Florida today where we announced, America's counter-cartel conference. 18 countries coming together.
Damn, that means that the cartel are going to be next on the chopping block, man. When they're done with Iran, man, them cartel members better be running. There's a good chance that it's either going to be Cuba or the cartel. Might be both.
Central, South America, and the Caribbean coming together to fight cartels. Wow. That is something that is ongoing. We're focused there. We're focused in the Indo-Pacific. We can mass combat power in CENTCOM. EUCOM is able to support that as well. So we know we're laser focused on our hemisphere and our homeland. That's why we locked down the border. That's why we're working with partners to take on cartels. That's why we're sinking drug boats. That's why we're on the offense there. But the beautiful things about combatant commands is that, Brad Cooper's laser focused on Central Command, just like Frank Donovan is laser focused on Southern Command. We can do both. That's what a global power can do.
Competition? How do you not consider a cartel member who peddles laced fentanyl drugs to poison Americans not an adversary? How do you not consider Iran funding terrorist organizations all over like their area, like Iran, fuck's sake, Afghanistan? Like they've killed so many fucking Americans out of proxy for funding those people, the terrorist organizations. How is that not an enemy? And then I don't know what the fuck's going on with Cuba, but I've heard something's going on with Cuba, so I don't know what the fuck's going on there. I'm out of the loop on that.
Ultimately, this issue of Iran's nuclear pursuit and their unwillingness through negotiations to stop it was something President Trump has said for a long time needs to be dealt with.
They want to fuck
and after
around.
47 years, he's doing something that no other president was willing to do.
Well, I mean, obviously not lazy enough to give you a permaban, so enjoy your permaban. Bye-bye. Because the CIA founded the cartel. I don't know where you're digging that up. We're not going to spread misinformation, so enjoy your perma. Adversaries, and they're not the same thing. You're absolutely right. They're not the same thing. We just got a lot of people trying to spread misinformation. That's all it is.
And we're doing
but this thing that I dug up out on the ass end of the internet. Oh, damn, look at this thing. Well, look here. Let me tell you something. If, for whatever reason, the CIA made the cartel 60 fucking years ago, I don't know how long the cartel's been around. Well, guess what? There's a new administration now. So, it's time to get rid of them. If that's true, and you did dig that up on the internet, I wouldn't believe it. Not a single second, but it's a different administration, different time. So, time to go. Time to go. Time to go. Bye-bye.
Overwhelmingly, and we're doing it decisively, while also in other parts of the globe having the desired effects. I mean, take, for example, what we displayed yesterday, the Iranian ship in the Indian Ocean, sunk by Indo-PACOM, another combatant command, who coordinated with us in order to make that happen. So America's reach is global. Our focus here, though, these missions are narrow, they're scoped, and Admiral Cooper is well on his way to ensuring that we reach those objectives. Right here, yes, sir.
What condolences the troops killed. The Ukrainians are talking about providing low-cost interceptors, given their experience.
Well, that'd be
something
good.
that the Pentagon is looking for. And Admiral Cooper, can you walk us through a little bit about how effective the Lucas drones have been, what kind of targets they've hit, and how much that's helped, given that they're low-cost alternative to a more expensive helium?
Go ahead.
Sure. I'm not familiar with the particular offer, but interceptors in general, we've had a number of new capabilities being fielded. Obviously, I'm not going to talk about it from an operational perspective of what those are. But I think you have seen over a period of time us kind of get on the other side of this cost curve on drones in general. If I just walk back a couple of years, you remember you used to always hear, we're shooting down a $50,000 drone with a $2 million missile.
Yep, hear that
These
a lot.
days, we're spending a lot of time shooting down $100,000 drones with $10,000 weapons from ours. So that's one aspect.
Well,
but Lucas, indispensable. As many of you know, and if you don't know, this was an original Iranian drone design.
If you don't see everything that's going on with Iran right now, and you think that it's another Afghanistan, you're fucking brain dead. Man, you're fucking... Keep coping.
Put the guts out, send it back to America.
Keep coping, man.
Put a little Made America on it.
Waking up in the morning, drinking your Haterade, and taking your coping pills, right? Your copium.
Back here, and we're shooting at the Iranians. Good targets.
Can you get a starboard on your way
Good
back?
targets.
Yeah, we might have to.
Absolutely. Right there, yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Secretary. President Trump, in his first speech after the launch of the Operation Epic Fury, he addressed Iranian people. He said that there's going to be
We don't even have to. You know what's crazy is the Iran government and the Kurds are boots on the ground. Kurds are waiting for Trump to signal a ground invasion. We don't have to put Americans on the line for this. We're just air support.
to come out, but it's not now. Stay home. It's not safe. I want to know if there is a timeline for that you're going to urge.
And keep in mind that whatever Israel did during Epic Storm or Roar of the Lion, which was what they called it, remember, we were already there. We didn't need their help, but they offered it, so we took it.
People to come out, how that is going to play out, and how are you going to protect the protesters? You know that they're going to be shot probably, as we witnessed in January. That's what happened. How are you going to protect and support the protesters? And Admiral, I have one question for you. How are you going to minimize the civilian harms? We have a lot of evidence that the Basij units are...
Yeah, we already own their airspace. We can fly private planes or like Boeing planes over their airspace and they can't shoot us down. We own their airspace. They're cooked. They're being pushed in from all different sides. They have the Kurds, they have Israel, and then they have America covering the oceans. They're cooked. Their airspace is gone. They have no airspace.
They are now gathering in schools, in hospitals, in purely residential areas because their headquarters are bombarded. They are ruined, of course. So how are you going to protect the civilians while you're tackling the IRGC people hard?
I would just say on the protests, obviously a lot Iranian people, the Iranian people showed a lot of courage in those protests, and we saw the Iranian regime was revealed for what it is in the way they reacted to that. The world saw that. No one's done more than President Trump to reopen the opportunity for those who want a free Iran to do so. Ultimately, it's common sense, as he said up front.
That speech that Trump gave the Iranian people after Epic Fury, bro, that's a leader right there, boys. You can talk a lot of shit about that man. You could talk a lot of shit about the Tangerine Warlord, but let me tell you something. That speech he gave goes hard.
Don't go out and protest while bombs are dropping inside Tehran and elsewhere.
What?
So there will come a moment where he determines, or they determine, that it's the time to seize that advantage. But there's a lot of things we're doing, and the Israeli military is doing, targeting those individuals who are targeting those who protest.
Good.
The more you do that, and you erode their will and you erode their capabilities, the more you create an opportunity for people to boldly stand up.
Yeah, I would just
They
reinforce
evacuated Beirut. I'm not surprised.
we're targeting the people, or we're targeting the headquarters and the people who are targeting the protesters, first and foremost. I'd also just double down on the president's comments that he previously made to the people: stay in your homes, keep things calm, stay out of the way. There's a lot of U.S. and Israeli capacity coming over. We're hitting a lot of targets. The best thing for them to do for right now is just to lay low.
Right here.
Secretary, one common outcome of American military action in the past has been taking in thousands of refugees into the American homeland, and I'm wondering if there's any safe...
See, I feel like if we help these countries, and not helping them by giving them a fuckload of money so they can squander it, if we help them by, cleaning up their government and letting them decide who they want in power, I feel like we would solve immigration as a whole. Because they're running from their own country, right? Because their government is, in one way or another, trying to kill them. So, what better way to solve the immigration crisis instead of band-aiding it and closing the borders? Why don't we just go to Mexico and clean it up? Why don't we just go to these other countries like Somalia and clean it up? We have the ability to. Instead of hemorrhaging billions of dollars to these countries every fucking year, why don't we just go there and clean their country up? Why don't we just do that? If they're pleading for money, well, why not send them missiles instead? Why not help them instead of just band-aiding this problem? Because we're hemorrhaging more. It would take us a month to clean. If it takes us a month to clean up Iran, who's to say we couldn't do the same thing for Somalia? Who's to say we don't do the same thing for Mexico? Take out all the cartels. Then they don't have a reason to run from their own country. They can thrive. They used the communists used to call us the American bullies. Well, why the fuck aren't we being more of a bully if that's the case? Why are we being called all these names and we're not owning those names at this point? Seriously.
Guards put in place to make sure that the American people aren't having to have another wave of refugees from the Middle East or anywhere else come and stay here.
I think it's safe to say there's no plan for a wave of new Middle Eastern refugees to the United States of America. I think, as the president has pointed out for a long time, there are a lot of countries in the region who would be capable of providing that kind of support if need be, but that's certainly not something we're planning on.
We let the hot girls in. That's all right.
Jesus Christ, Asman.
I know, Semper Gumby is always a truism in the military. Did the British decision to refuse Diego Garcia have any impact on the mission itself? Did you ever adjust?
I don't know what that is.
In orbit.
Yeah, exactly.
So now you've got UAE and Qatar and Bahrain and Saudi and Kuwait and others saying, hey, we're with you.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because they're bombing everybody in the fucking region. Big surprise if you start 5 different chess matches, you're probably going to lose all of them. Duh. First off, you failed from the start because you're too goddamn stupid to realize that starting 5 different chess matches, it's not going to end well for you. Come on.
We'll shoot with you. We'll fly with you. We'll defend with you.
Thank God.
We'll allow you more basing and other opportunities, a lot of which we can't talk about and won't talk about. But it's actually firming up the unity of the resistance. In order
You got Spain's bitch ass over there that thought that they were going to be exempt from joining this. I love how we have something like NATO, and we are the ones that enforce NATO. We are the ones that pay the most money into NATO. How is it that NATO exists and we're the ones that pretty much enforce it, and we're the ones also paying into it? Fuck no. These countries should be paying us to be part of NATO. Who do you think enforces national waters? We do. Anything that happens, like, for example, that shipping canal where those terrorists were bombing the ships and they had to go around instead of through the canal, who bombed the fuck out of them? We did. We solved that problem instantaneously the minute Trump got into office. They should be paying us to do this shit. Why are we paying into anything?
We need to. So this idea that it's expanding or going, no, it's actually simplifying in a number of ways exactly what we need to achieve and how we'll achieve it.
Hell, if it had not been for America, this would be a whole lot of people speaking German right now.
I won't get out of policy ahead of policy in terms of what we might do.
If you ever seen a game series called Wolfenstein, go play that. You'll see what it would look like if America didn't step in.
Point out is this is now the 12th country that Iran has attacked. 12 countries, and it goes right back to the Secretary's point. Those 12 countries are none too happy, and I look forward to working with all the partners who are willing to join us in this.
And I would just close by saying,
Mr. Secretary, one more question.
Sure.
What is your message to Americans who are concerned about security here at home with the change-up that we're going to see at the Department of Homeland Security?
Well, I think Kristi Noem did an excellent job over there securing our border and keeping us focused on threats. And President making a change. We all serve at the pleasure of the President. I'm sure Mark Wayne Mullen will do a fantastic job. He's been a friend of mine for a long time. But Kristi did a great job setting us up for success. So I don't have any concerns about whether or not the homeland will be covered down on. And I'll just end by saying I wish every American could get a chance to see what we see. I had a chance to go into the control room, into the Tactical Operations Center, go see these young men and women that are doing this, the dedication that
and that right there is, ladies and gentlemen, if you saw that, that is somebody that cannot attack the argument. They cannot attack the conversation. They have to attack you personally. And they have to discredit you in some way, shape, or form. And you know what that gets you today, at least, because I woke up in a terrible fucking mood? It gets you a permaband. That's what it gets you. It gets you sent to the Shadow Realm.
Show at every level. The way they've refined their craft. You know, I'm talking to a young colonel who's iterating on how we target.
Oh my God, I'm stealing that. What in the they, them is this shit? Oh, dude,
how we find it.
That's a good one.
Different aspects of what the Iranians are trying to do. If they don't know what they're up against, and if they think they've got it solved for, they're wrong. And ultimately, the combination of our ingenuity, the skill, the professionalism, the discipline, and then the sheer weight of the capabilities of the U.S. military, what you're going to see.
Bro, we got shit they haven't even seen yet. Think about that for a second. We got shit in our arsenal that you haven't even seen yet.
Routine. It might start to be like, another boat. Oh, another launcher. Oh, another drone facility. What it takes to do this with the precision that we do is world-class. No one else can do it. And it's world-class Americans. Like the ones I saw here, like the ones that are coming home that we're going to greet home, that are the engine of what makes our country great. And so I'm so grateful for folks like those here at CENTCOM, at Central Command, who are under your command. Thank you for your decisive leadership. And all I'll say to you is what I say to them, keep going. Because the President and myself, we have your back. Thank you, Admiral. Appreciate it.
Thanks very much.
Thank you all.
How is this operation going to ensure Iran never gets nuclear weapons?
Based. All right.
Well, what the fuck have you done for America? Well, I was a firefighter, and what you're gonna do for America is accept this permaban, bitch. Bye-bye. So now you can wee all the way home.
Well, I think that was pretty good. I mean, overall, I pretty much expect that's about what I thought it would be, and yeah, that's good. Best man for the
I
job.
wouldn't be surprised if we don't have space lasers. They already said that some of the Arleigh Burke class destroyers have laser beams on them. Like, they made a Twitter post about that. I would not be surprised. Okay, here we go. It might be a little bit longer. No, we got plenty of time. Okay, so this fucking person, this blew up all over the internet, bro. This is everywhere right now.
That got dragged out. He's fighting and he's dragging. He's doing all this stuff, right? You can't do that. You can't yell and do this. Like, what are they going to do? What are they doing here, right? I mean, you need two people to hold this guy down just to try to remove him. They tried to peacefully remove this person and he refused to leave. You can't have somebody do this. You can't have somebody go and do this. That's it. He resisted. He didn't just resist. He's aggressively fighting and yelling. Like, this isn't the way that you act in a first world country. It doesn't matter whether you're a veteran or not. That doesn't give you a right to go and do whatever you want. That's crazy. So this is the issue that
Huh? Hold on, give me a second. Give me a second, guys. Give me 1 second. Give me a second. Okay, we back. Sorry about that. Okay, give me this here. Ugh. Gotta strap in. Okay.
I have.
Okay,
And,
what I was gonna say is, so what you see here is a disguised sheep, or a black sheep that in disguise. This man, he is dressed in uniform. He was a veteran, but there's more to this man than you think. So he walked into this meeting, immediately started saying the craziest shit. They asked him to leave, he wouldn't, so now they're wrestling him out, right? Yes, he is a veteran. He joined to push a narrative. And we're about to see exactly what I'm talking about. A lot of these people are doing this in our communities, and you see a lot of this with judges or doctors now, where they go to college and do whatever they can to become a medical professional so they can push an agenda. And it's the same thing with this as well. These people are, to be quite frank, they're crazy. And they are trying to disguise themselves as average people in a society where if you go to college, you can be considered a professional. And the issue is that when you have people like this, wearing colors or having doctor certifications and being professionals, and then immediately doing a 180 against everything they were taught in college, like the male and female stuff, or going against even their own colors, we have a problem. We have a massive problem.
Doesn't understand defending the Iranian regime. A damn in dress blues, that's shameful. And that's also true, is that, well, this person is using their uniform to basically push a political agenda. Fundamentally, I think that's a selfish act. The truth is, like, I mean, we had this in ROTC. Like, I was in ROTC in like fucking in like high school. Is that you are not able, like, if you got disrespect the uniform, well, I don't even, and so, oh my God, they would get so angry at you because it disrespects the uniform as well. And so that's the main issue that I have. Got to dress blues to disrespect the uniform? Well, I don't even think that it's like...
Well, the issue is that the facade is, and this guy is very smart. Don't think that these people are stupid. The people that take the time to go to college and become the medical professional or join a like, let's say, for example, this guy it looks like a Marine, right? They are very, very smart. He could have showed up to this wearing anything else, but he knew that in order for it to become viral or for it to make an impact, he had to dress apart. He had to wear the dress, he had to wear the getup, he had to wait his years out, and then whenever he finally did, he did this. That's the issue.
If you want to advocate for this, and this is another big component to what I'm saying, is that I think it's totally within his freedom of speech and totally within his right to act and say the way that he wants to do it. But the moment that you do that in a public space and you disrespect other people's time and their space, now I think that there has to be accountability for that. And the truth is that what I'm advocating for in this case is completely and utterly obvious. Everybody knows this is true. We can't have every single person who has a moral distinction or a moral disagreement with like what some politician is doing cannot be allowed to come in and violently, aggressively yell over that person and shut down the event.
Exactly.
We can't live in a world like that, because if we did, every event would be getting shut down.
No, it would be chaos. Our democracy would become no longer existent. That's the whole reason why we go to the ballots every time it's time to vote. Just because you don't like the outcome of an election doesn't give you the right to be violent or turn into an insurrectionist. That doesn't give you that right. There's no constitutional right that says that you can violently protest. No matter how much you try to cherry pick out of the Constitution, no matter how much you try to twist the words, or take things out of context or misinterpret them in your own way, there is no constitutional right that says that you can go to a town hall or somewhere in Congress, scream over a congressman or woman, and then act violent the minute you start getting dragged out of there. Whether it be a man, woman, veteran, any skin color, no. Absolutely not.
This is the type of, again, this is the moral and emotional short-sightedness that some people have that apparently I'm seeing through and they're getting mad at me for. So that's it. Yelling is violent. Well, I mean, honestly, yeah. I mean, like if you're right there next to people and you're right there next, this is the same guy too. Yeah, if you're right there next to people and you're screaming in their face and everything, yeah, that is kind of yelling. And not only that, but I'm talking about fighting against the police right after that. And it's very easy to just not do that.
Here's a little cheat code for anybody. Anybody. If you are being told by a police officer to get out of the car, or you're being told by a police officer to leave someplace, you should always have this thing called self-preservation in the back of your head, that there's a good chance that if I don't, and this cop is in a bad mood, I could probably be shot. Because they have a gun. Now, I don't know when the self-preservation was so goddamn bad, now we're violently resisting arrest with guns on our persons, thinking that we're going to be Billy Badass, but at the end of the day, people have been shot for less. People have been shot for acting like a comb is a gun, pointing it at a police officer. There's a basketball player that was shot and killed because of that. When did the self-preservation turn into self-stupidity? That's the real question. This suicidal empathy that these people have completely numbs their entire ability to critically think. And then they become these weird, self-righteous, trending people because they don't have any fucking self-preservation whatsoever. And it's the stupidest fucking thing I've ever seen. It is.
And this is Marine Corps veteran says he suffers from mental illness due to Gaza genocide. This is another one of these people, right? And so
but you can have he can have the beliefs he has, but the beliefs that he have cross the line when you show up to a public event and you start trying to take over the mic, and then you violently resist police officers. No one's saying you can't have the mentality you have, but there needs to be a line.
And this person's not talking about America. They're not advocating for this. They're advocating for another foreign interest. That's really all there is to it.
That seems to be the main theme that I see a lot with these people. Like, I remember when back last year with the Minneapolis riots, that I saw school teachers getting on and saying, "Hello, fellow communists." And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, straight up word for word, hello, comrades. Hello, fellow communists. What are we doing here? Why are you letting these people brainwash? They're not even advocating for your country. They're advocating for like some other country. What are you doing?
Exactly.
So I have videos of that. It's all over the channel. Go look at them. We covered that live.
Doesn't give you carte blanche? No, it doesn't. And the thing is that, and I know that people will go against me for this, and they'll get angry at me for this, and this is what happens, is that, like, usually whenever...
Yeah, like Lemon, like Don Lemon, exactly.
Happen, and I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a few examples previously about this, is that I'm one of the only people that doesn't look at things emotionally. I don't. And I'll give you some examples. Whenever Renee Good was shot by that police officer, I said rip Bo's...
Exactly. Rest in piss, you won't be missed. You try to run over a federal officer or a police officer, and they have to defend themselves, well, you had it fucking coming. You should have did what the police officer said and get the fuck out of the car.
So on the morning that she died.
And Alex Peretti would be alive if he had been arrested those few days prior where he had kicked the taillight and he had a firearm on him. He kicked the taillight of one of the ICE agents' vehicles and broke the taillight, and he had a firearm on him. That automatically makes it a felony. If they were able to arrest him and put him in jail, he would be there he would have been there the day he got shot. He would have been, if the police were enforcing their laws. But they weren't. ICE agents were never meant to be riot police. They were meant to work with the local police in order to get the job done. When the local police are being told by the governor and the mayor of that state that they're not actual police officers, not realizing that those ICE agents have the ability to enforce felonies. They do. And what's crazy is that I guarantee you, if that ICE agent that backed him off of that federal car if he knew he had a firearm, he could have arrested him. But we only found out later that he had a firearm. It's crazy that all of this could be prevented, but for whatever reason, instead of trying to actually protect these people, they want these people to get themselves killed. That's what they've wanted this whole time. They never wanted to save these people. They never wanted to help these people. That's never what they wanted.
I did. I said, that's what you get. You shouldn't have fucking done that. Everybody was furious.
And then the wife or the fiance. And here's another thing. Renee Good had her children taken away. I didn't even know that. She had her kids taken away from her. And they were trying to say the day that she had gotten shot that she was driving her kids to school. No, she wasn't. She didn't have kids. They got taken away from her. I didn't know that.
People were so angry at me for saying that. But after more clips and more images emerged and more information came out, it became more readily
Same thing with Alex Peretti. His parents came forward and said that he had gotten fired from his job, that he hadn't been there in weeks, and so they had to fire his ass, that he had gotten mixed up in the wrong crowd.
That I was right about this. They even interviewed like her father-in-law or something, and he said that she wouldn't be in heaven. Who the fuck says that? What woman loses custody of her kids? I'll tell you what woman
There it is.
loses custody of her kids. A fucking nutball does. That's the truth, and everybody knows it. So anyway, that's one of the instances where everybody got mad at me. And then as time went on, as cooler heads prevailed and reasonable people took over and they went back to the conversation, you had more people coming and saying that actually, wait a minute, I think I know what you were saying. Alex Peretti was another one. I said, let's reserve judgment until we see more information. People got furious at me because I wouldn't immediately condemn the government for doing that. It turns out that he was another unhinged, violent protester that kicked the taillight off of a police car. The only mistake that ICE made with Alex Peretti is they didn't arrest him a week later and take away his gun. If they had done that, he'd still be alive right now.
Spreading misinformation.
So that's the thing.
How do you go to someone's channel and then immediately start spreading misinformation? Like, I definitely don't want you on my channel, bro. You're cooked. Stop lying. Asmon is completely based. I'm a Mega Roach fan, dude. See, like, my goal in life is to dethrone the Roach King and make him the Roach God so I can have his throne. That's what I want. That's my goal in life. If I can dethrone Asmon and make him the Roach God, I will gladly take the Roach King throne, all right?
Whenever I said this at the beginning, everybody got angry at me because they said, well, you can't say that because of this emotional mandate they felt they had. I don't feel that way. I don't have emotions that way. I think that thinking like that and behaving like that is completely 1 week earlier, excuse me, not later, a week earlier. And the reason why is that I used to feel that way, and I've tried so hard in my life to kill that part of myself because I feel like it's so poisonous and so toxic. I think back of all the times in my life where I've made a decision. More comments. Once emotion is involved, it's GG. You never made a WoW purchase off of emotion? I don't think it's different than getting upset and then making a decision whenever you're upset. That Islamophobia isn't a real word. It's not a real thing. Islam is a religion, and a religion is a collection of ideas. And a collection of ideas is absolutely acceptable to be criticized. Every idea can be criticized, whether it's Islam, Christianity, science, mathematics, or being a Democrat. That's the reality. So anybody trying to, put the phobia label on criticism of the religion is just trying to shut down criticism of their religion. I have no interest.
I'm sorry, but if you have a religion that says that something was promised to you 3,000 years ago, you should probably just get rid of that.
Interest in that. I don't.
But my religion, your religion was hand-drawn, written out, and narrated by a human being. Big surprise that it would be to the benefit of that race to have something that was designated to them 3,000 years ago. Man, that sure is convenient, isn't it? Well, since this book says that we made that this land is ours and it was promised to us, you should just give it to us. No.
Standards of the time, it was way too young. Even God criticized multiple of them. That's the over. Yeah, you calling out the kid diddling problems that's happened is that this is the same thing that's happened with the trans community, for example, and I think it happens with all kinds of ideologies. So whenever I criticize this or I tell people that they're, being unreasonable with this, I think that I'm being extremely fair. You just recognized Christophobia as a real thing this week? Wow, that's new. Couldn't agree more. Yeah, you calling out the kid diddling priests? Yeah, of course I would call that out. Absolutely. Like, what do you mean? Why would I not do that? So, yeah. It's actually longer when schools removed the Pledge of Allegiance. It was basically an attack on Christianity. Yeah, you should have never removed the Pledge of Allegiance. Like, that's insane to do that. Like, and again, that's the type of anti-American sentiment that I hear. And what I'm saying is that all of this anti-Israel sentiment is not necessarily pro-American sentiment. And I think that some people fall for the false god of anti-Israel, and they look at that, and they think that they're fighting for America. No, you're not fighting for America. You're fighting for another foreign country, another foreign interest, another side that's not your side. So yeah, that's really the way that I feel about it. Do you separate faith and religion? Not really. I mean, I've never even heard there being a distinction. And but I'll go back. I'll look at this here. And what's this here? Xenophobia? Like in 9/11 happened, a lot of legal immigrant Muslims are being hated and forced to get out of certain public places. Fucking hated it, and that's disgusting. And they didn't deserve that, and it's completely wrong. And there's no justification for it whatsoever. It's the exact same thing that happened.
Broke the head of a Marine.
Yep.
Here we go.
Marine getting the entire thing in the area.
Head of a Marine.
Yep. These people are absolutely and completely.
I think the guy's arm got broken, but he's also facing charges now too.
It's optics. They are. All they care about is how they're seen.
No, he cares about his
Well,
life.
it's like that senator that acted all crazy on the White House floor, but the minute he got out from in front of the cameras, he went back to being normal, right? Like they don't care about this.
And if he did that, then he wouldn't be fighting against police officers.
If he actually cared and he didn't want to be arrested and he like genuinely cared, he wouldn't be standing there in uniform doing this presentation in front of everybody. He wouldn't be doing this.
Resisting arrest and then sticking his arm in the door to prevent them from pulling him out. If he cared about his life, he wouldn't do that.
He cares about the lives of his fellow troops. He cares about the fellow Americans that are going to go to a war under a false pretense.
Does he care about the fellow Americans that were killed by proxies that Iran has been funding for the last 30 years?
There it is. Big surprise.
Does he care about that? Because it's
what about the 32,000 people that were genocided in Iran prior to this war? What about that? I didn't see any of these people advocating for that. I didn't see a single Minneapolis person with a sign that says "Help the Iranian genocide." Help the Iranians. I didn't see a single protest. Not a single one. Not a single fucking sign. But now you care that we're bombing the shit out of them. Man, that's crazy.
40 years. It's going to be, it's 47 years right now. It's going to be 50 in 3 years if we don't get rid of them. Iran destabilizes the entire region. They fund terrorism. They fund groups that are probably going all the way over to Europe. Like, a lot of these people that are doing this stuff in Europe are probably being indirectly funded by Iran. And I think that there's no denying that Hamas is. Hamas is a terrorist organization that kills and rapes people.
They shut the internet off, stupid. They couldn't tell us. Well, they did tell us. In fact, it was all over the news. Fox News talked about it. And they did have the internet because Elon Musk went out of his way to send. You remember, guys, this is the same guy that they wanted to apologize for doing a Nazi salute in the middle of a thing. He went out of his way to give these people Starlink so some of these people could get their messages out. But remember, we're the bad guys. I'm not even a left or a righty. I'm neither. I'm not a Democrat nor a Republican. I've never voted. I'm 31 years old. I've never voted. I never will either. I'm tired of being handed two piles of shit and told to pick the lesser of two evils. No, I'm not going to choose between that. I'm going to pick whatever one helps Americans. Sorry. That's not what I'm going to vote on.
Including Americans.
And you can't even say that immigration and ICE is a Republican thing. Obama, for the 8 years, did the exact same fucking thing. For 8 years. He shut down the border. He praised his number on deportations. He gave the border Cesar, the same fucking guy that's running the show right now, a fucking medal. What does it have to do with being left or right? What does it have to do with being a Democrat or a Republican? When did it ever become that?
So what about them? What about when Iran gets a new ballistic missile and they shoot it somewhere and they kill Americans? Again. What about that? This like intentional oversimplification is totally unfair.
I'm sure the United States government that single-handedly crippled Iran and captured Maduro fell for fake fucking propaganda that Iranian people were posting. I'm sure, guys. They didn't just line up an entire full-scale attack with Israel and take out all their air defense, all their naval ships, all their fucking bunkers, take out the majority of their leadership in one fucking blow that lasted approximately 30 fucking minutes. Clearly, they fell for fake propaganda. Keep coping, motherfucker. Keep coping. Maybe one day it'll work. Jesus Christ.
It's totally unfair. It's completely short-sighted.
Remember, guys, the boats that were coming from Venezuela going 70 miles an hour across the fucking ocean were fishing boats, right? Remember, guys, they're fishing boats.
I don't agree with this framing
Jesus.
at all. Full screen? Okay.
He cares about truth. This is what being American is all about, Osmongold.
Being an American is all about disrupting an event and then stopping that? What is this here? Oh, me listen to
It's not siding with the tyrannical government, getting people to die for a lie.
It's not siding with the tyrannical government, getting people to die for a lie? Well, what do you think Iran's government is? This is what I think is funny, is that, what do you think Iran's government is? I'm not saying
That's
this
right.
guy doesn't have
Fishing boats need 4 outboard motors, didn't you know? Man, if you're not catching any fish, it's because you're not going fast enough. Go faster!
He can say whatever the hell he wants.
Oh,
but
shit,
you can't go into a public space, interrupt an event, and then resist arrest from police officers and then act like a victim.
Oh, that's
you shouldn't
funny.
have done it.
Enjoy your perma.
Yeah, it's like Iran is a theocratic dictatorship that kills its own people systematically.
It's the people standing up against tyranny.
You mean the 40,000, or sorry, I guess it's probably 40,000, but 30,000 is the number that's used. You mean the 30,000 people that Iran systematically executed for standing up against tyranny?
Well, sentences you don't make sense. Sometimes.
Is that it?
Fish.
That this guy is trying to completely discredit and totally remove their credibility by acting like this has anything to do with Israel? Has it ever occurred to you that Iran is a threat that is completely independent from Israel? So you care about their protesters more than ours? I care about the you didn't listen to the first thing I said about how they fund terrorist groups that kill Americans. You didn't listen to that. You need to learn to listen.
You know, bro, guys got a point in chat. Infidel something another. You got a point. You can't tell what a man and a woman is, but you're going to try and sit here and tell me how people fish on a boat that's going 70 miles an hour? What the fuck? You can't even tell me what a man and a woman is. How the fuck am I... Is the earth flat too? I mean, let's be honest here. What do you really think?
Shouldn't have put yourself in that situation. Shouldn't have done it. Shouldn't have done it.
Dude, you're trying to...
I missed it.
He's trying to put him in a situation where he's dying in Tehran.
What did he do? He's acting like a retard.
Hand of a Marine.
No, he's not. He's trying to prevent him situation from him dying in his own base. Whenever
That's
Iran
right.
gets more
That's right. Iran, a 47-year problem solved by the 47th president, baby. Let's go. USA #1. Fuck yeah. I'm here Monday through Friday, boys. Stick around. Hit the sub button. Hit the like button. We're here Monday through Friday. Please sub to my channel. I need you.
missiles, and they shoot those missiles at a U.S. base, and then they kill people. Or they finally get the capabilities to shoot a missile to America, and then they shoot it to America, and they kill Americans. Iran, whenever they got attacked, they went and apparently they're denying this, right? But a missile was shot towards Turkey. It was shot towards, what's it fucking called? UAE, Azerbaijan. You've had fucking Qatar, Saudi Arabia. Like, these are supposed to be their allies. Cyprus, again, Dubai, yep. I mean, they flew it. How can you possibly look at these people as anything other than terrorists when they're flying drones into hotels? How's this work?
It's, I don't, like, at a certain point, it can't even be considered stupidity. You realize that a lot of these people have lived such sheltered and cushy lives that they don't understand what World War II and World War I was like. They don't understand the fear of terrorism. They don't understand a lot of shit. Like, a lot of these people have no idea what it's like to be oppressed. And you know that because you have people like Sneeko saying that Americans don't have freedom. If you didn't have freedom, you would be shot and killed for having a different opinion like what happened in Iran. It's because of your freedom, you're able to sit there behind a camera, make money off of your opinions instead of making bullets, okay? You are showing your privilege by speaking your opinion. The fact that you have that privilege, you should be thanking every soldier that fought and died for that American flag. Every soldier. We shouldn't be burning that flag. We should be admiring its beauty. What it stands for is the right of every American to flip off a fucking cop. Because that's what that flag stands for. Doesn't give you the ability to threaten them. That's not what it stands for. You can flip a cop off. It's freedom of speech. But the minute you threaten them, that's different. Don't be like, well, this dude on fucking YouTube. Because I'm going to be like, no, that wasn't me. Here's the video. So, you should be... These people have lived in such privilege, they don't understand what real fascism, terrorism, and oppression looks like.
Coward.
Is really not leading and defying orders? Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dude, Asmongold, do you know how this country
And a real good example of that is them calling people Nazis. Calling Ice Ages the Gestapo. Motherfucker, if it was the Gestapo, people wouldn't be around to protest. They would be dead. They would publicly execute you in the middle of the street. If you look back at old photos of the towns, you'd see suitcases just lining the streets. Books and papers everywhere, just empty, ghost-like streets. It's so fucking eerie, it's the scariest thing you'll ever see. And you're trying to compare people getting gassed in chambers, people having their wedding rings taken off and put into piles. Piles. And you're trying to compare that to the current administration? And we're the crazy, we're the what the fuck?
They were defying orders by dumping the tea in the ocean.
Because they couldn't vote.
Oh, damn, thanks for the $5. Thank you for the $5. These people don't know anything. They know shit. They know fuck all. And to be quite frank, the school scores kind of show that and prove that. Most of them can't even fucking read.
Oh, this is a bad argument. The Boston Tea Party happened because people couldn't vote for King George to leave office. Whenever Donald Trump said in 2016...
He said he was going to bomb the shit out of them. He said that. What's funny is I've seen so many memes of Biden and then Kamala, whenever they get asked the question, what are you going to do if Iran wants to make nukes? They just say no. And you see Trump on stage, I'm going to bomb the shit out of them. Like, he said what he was going to do when he was running. And guess what? Big fucking surprise, we get somebody in power that is going to keep what they said. Hell yeah, let's go.
That he was going to bomb Iran and prevent them from getting a nuclear weapon. I guess you weren't listening. When he said in 2024 that he was going to prevent Iran from getting a nuclear weapon, you still weren't listening. This has been a consistent position that Donald Trump ran on, and anybody who cared to educate themselves on the topic would know that Donald Trump has said multiple times that he didn't want Iran to have a nuclear weapon and that he would stop them from getting a nuclear weapon.
Exactly. That's the whole reason why we sitting here limp dicking around, dragging our feet with motherfucking Ukraine and Vladimir. Motherfuckers got nukes. That's the whole reason why we're sitting here limp dicking around with Vladimir. It's because he's got nukes. We have to bring this dude to the table. You really want Iran with the same fucking capabilities? Hell no. Look at what they're doing right now. They're bombing everybody around them. You really want these people to have nukes? Fuck no. You're crazy.
You can compare this to
We are not doing this for our generation. We're doing this for our kids. We're doing it because they may not be able to have what we have now. The sooner we get rid of these people, the better off society and the world will be as a whole. Like
a revolt against a monarchy, and then again, like, also keep in mind that if it was up to England, right? England, this is the people that are from the Boston Tea Party are the ones that are in Iran that need our help. They need our help fighting against their tyrannical government that takes the little amount of money that their country makes and then they send it to build bombs to blow up Israel rather than feeding their own people. They can't even get water. Their currency is worth less than monopoly money. And you're talking about this is like the Boston Tea Party? Like this random guy is like the Boston Tea Party? What are we talking about? This is such a deliberate misunderstanding.
They flipped over the boats. Look at this. Come on.
I don't know. Did they flip over boats? I thought they just threw the tea in the water. Maybe they flipped over boats too.
Smugness here is insane.
So I am smug about it because I hate people that do this. I think that they destroy our culture and they destroy the good things about Western society and American culture, and they do so under the guise of virtue. And I find it to be disgusting.
It is. It is absolutely disgusting. It is. Instead of sitting here disrupting this meeting, why don't you go rally together the Democratic Party and make them have issues that you want to vote on? That's the reason why they fucking lost. The issues that they had that they wanted people to vote on were garbage and nobody wanted them. Trump had a lot of things that a lot of Americans wanted that they wanted to vote on. maybe you should change what you want people to vote on. Rally your Democrat instead of sitting here causing chaos in places like this or on the roads. Why don't you all, like, you obviously can congregate. Why don't y'all come together, rally up the Democratic parties, rally up your own states, you know, be like, hell yeah, we want this, and we like tell your elected officials what you want, and they can give you a candidate that you can vote for. But you instead, you want to sit here and say everyone's fascist because you lost the fucking election. That's not our fault. You're blaming people for something they vote. And this is what happens whenever you're not allowed to speak, by the way. When you get people that are online or are attacking you in public just for wearing a Trump hat, well, what do you think is going to happen? Well, they're not going to be more public about it. They're going to be the silent majority. When you sit there and oppress them, when you sit there and threaten them, when you assault them in public, and you sit there and you fucking try to like call them names to get them off the internet, you know what ends up happening? They become the silent majority. You're never going to change what they think. You're just going to oppress their speech. That's all you're doing. They're still going to vote for anything that doesn't have you in power because they're fucking scared of you. They're scared because if you're sitting here and openly oppressing people in front of other people and doing it and attacking people and wishing death upon people, they don't want you to be in power because they're fucking terrified of you. That's why. They may even agree with your goals, but because you're sitting there beating the hell out of them, well, I'm not going to agree with that fucking person. He's crazy. Like, duh.
Senator helped drag this piece of shit out? Yep.
This is how they act when they're not in power. Just imagine if they were.
Yep.
Calling a veteran a piece of shit.
There's a lot of veterans that are pieces of shit. There's murderers that are veterans. There's rapists that are veterans. Yep. There are people
that was a big thing in World War I and World War II. A lot of people had to face criminal charges for that.
Plant bombs in places that are veterans. This idea that you can ascribe some
Didn't a veteran show up and assassinate two I don't know if they were like public, they were some sort of public official in a state. He had dressed as like a police officer and shot and killed them. That guy was a piece of shit. I mean, you can be a veteran and still be a piece of shit. I mean, it's not unheard of.
Moral virtue to veteran, and then it can't be criticized because of it being a protected status. This isn't going to work with me. This is cheap emotional optics tricks, and everybody can see through it.
It's like you put your life on the line for this country, or so you think.
You do. And there are people that lost their life on the line for this country because of Iran's actions, and it's happened over the last 30 years. And it will continue to happen for as long as the Iranian government is in power.
Think, and look at the way you get treated. Oh my God.
He's not getting treated this way because
and it's the same way with teachers. It's the same way with first responders. It's the same way with veterans. Because you hold that uniform, because you are in the position you are, just like doctors, whenever a parent comes to you and expects a non-biased medical professional opinion, and you sit there and push ideology, you need to go to jail for malpractice. You need to go to jail. You need to be stripped of your titles, and you need to go to fucking jail. You are supposed to be held to a higher standard. It's the reason why if you as a teacher are drinking an alcoholic beverage and someone takes a picture of that and the principal sees it, you immediately get terminated from your position. You are being held to a higher standard. Act that standard, especially wearing that uniform.
Veteran, he's getting treated this way because he's violently resisting the police that are trying to get him to leave. You're intentionally misunderstanding the situation to create a narrative that doesn't exist.
That's fine. Everybody sit down, please.
Damn, bro, you broke your arm all for nothing, and now you're gonna catch a charge. He got 3 charges, actually. Rip Bozo. That's what you get. That's sad.
Bro, you want him to get him to die for nothing.
I don't want him to die for nothing. I don't want him to die at all.
If you sitting there flailing around, flopping like a fucking fish out of water, and you break your goddamn arm because you have 3 police officers trying to drag your ass out of a place you're not supposed to be in, big fucking surprise, I'm not gonna have any fucking sympathy for you, dumbass. Sorry? Sorry, not sorry.
I am advocating for the plan of action that will cause the least harm and the least death. In my mind. Now, you might disagree with my approach to this, and you can say that that won't happen, but that is what my perspective is. I am looking at the long-term effects of a nuclearized or a ICBM Iran that can shoot missiles anywhere in the world, and I see that in the long run, and I say, this is really dangerous. This can be scary. This could cause a lot of people
But the issue is that he broke his own arm resisting arrest. Like, if you don't... big surprise, here's a cheat code for anyone trying to resist arrest. Don't. If you're being asked to leave, he could have done this, and then the minute they asked him to leave, he could have just walked out. That's all he had to do. He would have had way more respect from a lot more people if the minute they asked him to leave, he just left. Seriously. Him sitting there flailing around and breaking his own goddamn arm, now catching... He's also going to be catching charges from this, by the way. He's already been charged, but I think with like 3 different things. So, like, you got a broken arm, you're in jail, and you're probably going to get charged with all 3 of these things. Like, come on.
Including Americans, but also Iranians too, and all the people all around the Middle East. It's not just...
It's the same instance as if you have a black belt and you start fighting police. You could get, like, felony charges hardcore because your hands are considered a deadly weapon. It's no different for a Marine. Like, if you know what you're capable of, what the fuck are you doing?
Americans, it's everybody in the whole world. And I think about it, you know, from that perspective. I don't think about it from a perspective of this instance, like this small slice of time. This has been ongoing for 47 years, and these terrorist groups have ramped up really in the last 30 years. You can look any of this up. You can look any of this up on the internet. You can find this for yourself. That
I'm not sure what this was that he went and disrupted. I do know that it was a speaker session or something like that. I saw a lot of people trying to be like, well, it's a public place. It doesn't matter. If it's currently being housed, like, you can't just go to the White House and start disrupting the White House making a bill. You're gonna get brought out pretty quickly. I mean, it's common sense.
And how many of those terrorists?
You can't go to a courtroom. You can't go to a community courtroom and disrupt the judge by standing up and saying stupid shit in the middle of court. They're going to remove you. They may even put you in jail for contempt of court, honestly. Like,
soldiers.
To act like this is a new thing is just brain dead.
To see that it's a really big number. So what do you think is going to happen when they get better weapons and better technology? You think that they're just going to stop doing that? It's naive. Just fucked up your whole...
My prediction, bro, he's going to apologize for this statement. He's going to apologize for the statement. I remember when he said that Palestinians are subhuman, and then, you know...
It's not exactly what I said.
He got banned on Twitch for 2 weeks and then apologized. This was another one of those situations.
This is
No. See, I guarantee you they asked him to leave, and then he would not leave. So then the person that was recording started recording or doing whatever, and then they fucking removed him. And even if they did start removing him by force, who gives a fuck? Maybe don't go to a place like that dressed as a Marine and start acting like a fucking fool. I mean, if you walk into a store and slap somebody over the fucking head and there's a cop there, they're immediately going to start trying to arrest you. Come on.
Well, I think he's well-intentioned, but...
Why do you think there are so many police officers there? It's to solve problem children like this guy. That's why they're there. It's to stop the disruptions.
And I the thing is, I like Sneeko too, but I really dislike this perspective he has. And the main point of criticism that I have with Sneeko, whenever you're saying you're well-intentioned, is that... And this is
right. Is it green to burn electric cars? Not just burn them into the pavement.
I hope that he can...
Bro, this guy's funny. Dude, you need to stick around. You need to sub to the channel, bro. You're funny as fuck.
Whenever Ali Khamenei passed away.
با سر دادن ندای آسمانی فست و به رب الکعبه به ساحت مقدس الهی واصل گردید و شهد گوارای شهادت را در این ماه مبارک نوش نمود.
This was a terrorist enabler that killed, oppressed, and murdered tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people.
We won't even know the full numbers of how many people were killed until this is all over.
And he is in paradise, or he has the highest place in heaven. Think about the type of moral inversion...
He's talking about the Ayatollah.
You would have to go through, that your heaven would provide the highest honor and the highest place for a person responsible for such evil.
Because you have to keep in mind that the Ayatollah was responsible for taking money from the Iranian people, leaving them in poverty. A lot of them didn't even have fucking water, and giving all that money and all those resources to terrorist organizations all over the fucking around them, like in Saudi Arabia, Iran, Iraq, Afghanistan, like all of them. It's crazy to think that even after everything that all the information's come forward about it, even after the 32,000 people that he ordered to be killed after they peacefully protested, they have to peacefully protest in Iran, that people are still trying to back this guy. It just blows my mind.
How is it that your moral system can be consistent when you think that a person like that deserves to go to paradise? That's evil at its very core. He said he wasn't perfect. Khomeini was not perfect. No, he wasn't. He was not. And the fact is that I understand that there are people that are flawed and there's a spectrum, but Khomeini isn't on that spectrum. He's at the end. He's where you measure the ends of those spectrums. This guy turned off the internet so he could systematically kill his own people.
Exactly. Like,
I don't know why Sneeko is allowing himself to be co-opted, because I think that in a lot of cases, Sneeko does have good takes on certain things. But the problem that I have with this is that I think that you're falling off on this side, and you're thinking that the
you see, whenever you see somebody in chat that's like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, you have no right to talk about this, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. That's just somebody, that's somebody there that doesn't want you to talk about it. You should talk about it more. And you know why? Because the beautiful thing about me sitting in this chair and banning as few people as I have is that you can start seeing these people get crushed by the majority of people that are watching the stream, because they're such a minority, they don't even realize it. They just don't realize it because a lot of people are just scared to say anything to these people in fear of being attacked. That's how it is. That's what happened to Kirk. Like, when you stand up for what you believe in and you're not hurting anybody, these people will find a way to either discredit you, shut you down, harass you, attack you, or for that matter, try to kill you. They will.
Real side is the pro-America side. I don't think that it's the pro-America side necessarily. I think that there is a third option that is not pro.
If these people could kill you and get away with it, they would have done it. I promise you.
This regime in Iran, and it is not pro, again, I'll throw you a bone, terrorist regime in Israel, and it is pro-American regime, period. Too many people decide that because they're against Israel, that means that they're for America. No, there are many other forces in the world that are also malevolent besides Israel. Let me continue.
This is extremely incorrect. This is an indefensible take.
Is Sneeko Shia Islam? I don't think he is. I don't think so. But most people are not. Shia Islam is like about 10%. Sunni is about 90.
I don't know a damn thing about their
I
religion.
guess.
I don't know.
I bet Khomeini's probably killed more Muslims than a lot of other people. He's probably been responsible for the killing of many of them. Anybody who disagrees with him, he's bombing. He's not doing that. Why would I do that?
Sneeko gets brainwashed. That we should talk about it.
Yep.
Let's talk about it.
Let me read a few more. And no, Khomeini being a terrible person is irrelevant. When you think about we're all at his level, Goy cattle, sure. And look at how many people died in the Yemeni civil war started by a terrorist group funded by Iran. Yeah, they're very problematic. More info on the guy they arrested. Who is this? Let me pull it up. And this is the person that they arrested. Let's see here, if I can pull it up here. And this is a Green Party member. Who's this guy?
All right. Hello, my name is Brian McGinnis, and I'm running for the congressional seat for North Carolina. If voted in, I will present to Congress the Great American Acknowledgement, a reparations plan for black families. I'm not the
so
one
he's going to do black people reparations. Wow.
To speak on this as a privileged white man. I will anyway.
He's acknowledging the original sin of white people. This is disgusting. I can never support a person that
Bro,
does.
I'm telling you, infidelity to stick around. He's absolutely right. This is what happens when you cater to mental illness. This is what it looks like when you cater to mental illness and tell them that they're the special person. Everyone gets main character syndrome. And they think that because they stand in front of a group of people, they can change the entire role of the United States government. I tell you what, if you're so strongly set in that belief, then why don't you go to Iran and do the same thing? Or China? Last time I checked, I think people, whenever they do that in China, they turn up missing. They get, like, deleted and yeeted from the DNA pool. It's weird how that works, isn't it?
What's this?
Out of deep remorse for our American history, if I, as a white man, don't speak against what some fellow whites still stand for today.
What do they stand for?
And don't get me wrong, I think China's an amazing country. I think Japan's an amazing country. I think a lot of countries are amazing. I do. I would love to visit China, and I'd love to visit Japan. Would I visit China? No, I wouldn't. And let me tell you why. It's because they're a little too harsh for my personal preference. If that makes any sense.
White supremacy.
What do they
when you got law enforcement checking your phone to make sure you're not doing any like weird propaganda, that's a little too much for my taste.
What is it?
I sure as hell insist Jews denounce the state of Israel right now.
I'm sure they're
I
going
hear them now.
Right.
How do you plan on paying all those reparations? Simple.
I don't.
Take the money we give to Israel and give it to American black families.
This person.
Why? You know what the best reparation that we gave to the black people was? They got to stay. It's like, I'm poor. I'm fucking dirt poor. I grew up without electricity. I grew up borderline homeless. In fact, we would have been homeless if my grandfather hadn't have bought a trailer from a junkyard and fixed it up. He bought the land too. Had a lot of fucking days where it was ice cold in that motherfucking trailer with no power, no water, and no food. And you know what? I didn't seek any reparations. Fuck. Like, what are we doing here? A lot of my friends, because I was from Louisiana, were black. A lot of them.
Brian McGinnis, who's being held out as the only Marine whose opinion matters, a true dyed-in-the-wool leftist, is running for office. Now, to be clear, maybe Senate, maybe...
Yes, this was a political ploy that he did. This had nothing to do with... Well, I mean, obviously it did have to do with the ideology, but at the same time, this is the factor.
Congress, we don't exactly know. A member
Why is slavery an issue at all? The best reparations for black people was a fair chance today. That's my advice. That's my opinion.
Yep.
I think black people deserve reparations, same as white people do, same as everybody does.
Yep.
There have been a lot of people that have been systematically oppressed in America over the years.
Yep.
You look at the Japanese, you look at, black people, obviously. You look at certain groups of white people as well, Irish. And you want to look at providing them a fair opportunity and an equal chance in America.
Yeah, stop being fucking racist. Stop being racist. That's how you give them their reparations. Stop being a bunch of racist piece of shits. Seriously, stop it. You're fucking stupid.
That's reparations. Those are real reparations. Because every black person wasn't created equal. The children of Obama don't have the same chances as, some random guy that's living in Section 8 housing.
Exactly.
Even if they're both black. Every white person doesn't have advantages either.
The Green Party donated to Jill Stein. Where's, oddly enough, in Ireland...
You want to bring racism back? Giving reparations to people that were hurt 200 fucking years ago? That's not how you get rid of racism. That's how you bring it back. They have the same equal opportunity, same as anybody else.
Palestine flag pinned.
What? Yes. So we have this person. He's wearing an Ireland and Palestine flag. Again, look at this.
Obviously back in probably like the 90s or a little bit before that, there was more like diversity when it came to a lot of stuff. But a lot of the propaganda that's being pushed nowadays, it's just fake bullshit on like legacy media. If you get hired at a Walmart, you all gonna be making the same amount of money, brother. That's how it is now. Man, woman, black, white, Asian, doesn't matter.
This is the person that wants to be seen as an American. This is what I was saying, is that being anti-Israel is not being pro-America. Not necessarily.
What?
Is he Irish?
Yeah,
He
on
must
his
be
campaign website. And in case you were wondering, so the people who say they're America first, and you're not America first unless
they won't even wear an American pin. They won't even wear an American flag pin. But you want to tell me that you're America first?
Understand that America is the bad guy. And look at this non-active duty Marine who's violating this code of conduct, right? He is more American than you. You need to support him because he's America first.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm gonna pull up a couple of people and we'll respond to this because this is the guy. And for places and groups like the IRGC to justifiably kill their own people because they're going to call them foreign agents listening to Israel. And Sneeko, again, was being posted on Iranian state television as an American source. If you have terrorists that are posting you as a source, maybe that's not a good thing. I understand it's guilt by association, and it doesn't mean that he's necessarily wrong, but it's something that's worth considering. Can we analyze the situation further? You have one more chance to create a response that's not a vague comment. And if you don't...
Yeah, you have to keep in mind that the Democrats have twisted their narrative so much that their hypocrisy is showing hardcore now. Their narratives have been twisted and turned and disfigured to the point where they can't even cover up their own hypocrisy anymore. They can't. It's just too bad. It's too apparent.
Like, I have no problem with people that want to make comments. That's totally okay. But this is vague. You're vague posting right now. What is this? Only terrorists are America and Israel? Tell that to the Iranians that are being killed. Tell that to the people in Sudan that are being killed.
Oh,
and do you know who's funding them? Places in the Middle East. That's why they're letting it happen, because of the diamonds and other types of rare earth materials. I don't see that. The situation with Iran and why we are so intertwined. Okay, what do you guys? I'm just gonna time you out. Like, you're not being rude, but you're being very vague, and I don't think you're really adding a lot to the conversation. I'm gonna just time you out. So it's a brand new account. Yeah, that's it. These people are so retarded. They think the only evil is Israel, so blind and ignorant. Yeah, exactly. And I've made many videos, right? And you can just look at Asmon Gold, Israel. Israel did it again. So this is me criticizing Israel for bombing people in Gaza right here. This is from 6 months ago. This is a civil war. This is, again, me being critical of Israel because of the fact that Ben Shapiro's side of the right wing that is controlled by Israel, I think primarily, is losing ground.
Yeah, man, no one like orange bad. You can't even make, I see a lot of people that are like, oh, Trump, where's the pizza? You do realize that before the Epstein, it's crazy to me that, okay, there's a few things wrong with that hypocrisy. Where were y'all at whenever Biden was the runner of the country for 4 years? Y'all didn't bitch a single time about the fucking Epstein files coming forward. Not one damn time. Not a single time did y'all bitch once about the Epstein files. That's hypocrisy number one. Hypocrisy number two is, where did all this hate come from prior to the Epstein files and Trump talking about them? Where did this hate come from in 2016? Y'all hated this motherfucker from day one. Y'all didn't even have a reason. Y'all just hated him. Ran on the exact same policies that Obama did, and y'all still hated the man. What the fuck?
This is also, again, this is me critical of Israel whenever Benjamin Netanyahu had a meeting with American and Western influencers and tells them how to explain Israel sentiments. Let's see here. Are there any more of these examples? We had to act. This is also... This is Israel, but I did agree with them on this because it was, again, bombing Iran. This is where our money is going. This is a year ago where I'm very critical of Israel as well. So the truth is that I think that I have a very, very stated, like, a very good record in, I think, being completely honest and totally genuine about this topic. And even if you might disagree with me, you can see that there are not any biases towards any foreign power here. Like I've been I've been one of the only people who has been truly America first. You seriously underestimate the negative impact that Israel has on us? Well, what do you think that, like, so why do you think that I underestimate it? I'm asking you, why do you think that? Do you think the World Monitor app, Palantir, for free for everyone to monitor the situation? No, I didn't see that. I'm Israeli. I don't see any issues with your criticism. Yeah, that's why I have a lot of people that watch me that are both Israeli and also, you know, like fucking like all other places. I was gonna say Palestinian, but like, I mean, there are all other places in the entire fucking Middle East, right? I mean, like, it's not crazy to say that. You say you're pro everything and they're against everything because you're pro-American and they're anti-American. I think that a lot of these people do have values that are antithetical to American values. Aren't you a Putin lover, though? I'm not a Putin lover. This war's been on Israel's plan for 40 years. Yeah, and I think that it should have been on America's plan for 40 years because the Islamic dictatorship of Iran is a dangerous dictatorship that should have been shut down immediately.
Mentality?
And it should have never
You know, it's the same shit that I was just saying earlier in the stream. They can't attack the conversation. So you get dumbasses in a chat that are saying, well, he doesn't read books, so he knows nothing. Okay, well, whenever you start reading a book that talks about the Ayatollah, and what's currently happening in the world, then maybe you should come and say something about it. But until then, I don't think there's any books like that, fucktard. Enjoy your perma.
Allowed to happen.
That's the mentality that it just blows my fucking mind, dude. He doesn't read books, so he's dumb. I didn't know you had to read a book to bomb a fucking country.
It's basically betrayed us by providing refuge to Khamenei, and they should have executed him. Anything else? Are you pro-war or anti-war? I'm anti-war. That's why I think we should bomb them. They use us to fight their battles. Iran poses no real threat to us. Then why are they killing our people? If they pose no threat to us, then why are they killing our people? And why are they taking over shipping boats? Why are they think about how many billions of dollars every year is put into stabilizing the Middle East because of Iran's regime that funds destabilization.
You see, that's the funny part. Another little point of hypocrisy drawn. If that's the case, then why are these people's reasoning skills so fucking disabled? If reading a book makes you so smart, and your argument is that Asmund doesn't read a book, so he knows nothing, how the fuck are you that mentally disabled? Holy shit. Maybe you should read a book. Holy God.
For Israel? Okay, well, if you take Israel out of the equation, do you think that we should, like, let's say Israel doesn't exist and Iran still does that, you wouldn't attack your attackers? I actually don't think that I
think that's bullshit. You know why we haven't attacked our attackers is because we've had what, 16 years of people dragging their fucking ass? And now we got a president that wants to get this shit over with and be done with it? Big surprise if you get somebody that's going to get the fucking job done, he's going to get the job done. It looks like it's almost over anyway.
On October 7th that were dancing and singing were, you know, and these were American citizens that were killed. I don't think that those were their attackers. I don't think so at all. I don't think that the people that are in the streets that were protesting in Iran...
Sometimes war is a necessity. Sometimes that's all that can be done.
Were your attackers. I don't think
like,
that
you think for 1 second that the people that stormed Normandy, stormed the beaches on D-Day, when they saw all their friends getting killed, getting mowed down by Hitler's buzzsaws, do you think for 1 fucking second they didn't look at that and say, that's some evil shit? Yeah, they did. Sometimes it's necessary.
That were being hit by the Houthis and kidnapped were their attackers.
And I know that it's too different. The gun itself is called Hitler's buzzsaw. The gun is called Hitler's, but I already know the comments are going to be like, oh, no. It was the fucking gun. It was the name of the gun.
I think that's a lie. These are innocent civilians that had nothing to do with this. And also, you wouldn't attack your attackers. Well, what about whenever somebody says that they're going to attack you? What about when somebody says they want death to your country? So if that's your reasoning, then why wouldn't you be proactive as well? Also, China and Russia, see, we aren't pussies.
We're not that divided.
I do think that there's...
We're really not that divided. You have a bunch of social media people that are willing to take money from, for the most part. They've already had people come forward and say that they got offers from some of these countries. I'm not going to say who or where. Go look it up yourself. Saying that they were being offered money to spread propaganda. And to be quite frank, a lot of these YouTubers, that's how you know they're grifters. Whenever you have a YouTuber or a streamer that is just going with the flow of the narrative, that's a grifter. If everyone was like, hell yeah, bomb Iran, it would be them doing the exact same thing. Like, that's exactly what it is. It's them trying to fit with the crowd, not realizing that whenever you're baby birding the information that they are putting out to you is a minority. And it's a minority because the issue is they have scared the majority into silence, but they're still going to vote for people like Trump to get these people and effectively like crush them, honestly. That's why Trump got the overwhelming majority. That's why. Because you terrified them to the point where they're scared that if you get into power, what's going to happen? I mean,
agree of that, but like I'll listen to the rest of it. How many Americans?
There are so few of these people, and you have to keep in mind that it's not even just actual Americans. Some of these people are propaganda bots from like China or like other places around the world, right? Like if I had a country and it's just me, right? I would probably do the same thing to destabilize a country. I mean, what better way to destabilize a country and take it over than to send over a bunch of illegals and use propaganda to make people literally cannibalize each other? Like, it works. We don't have to deal with boots on the ground anymore. A lot of what you see now, it's digital warfare. It is.
Have Iran killed in the past 12 months, not counting this war? I'm not sure, honestly. I mean, you'd have to look it up. Iran is bad, but we don't need to involve ourselves at the cost of American lives. So this is my argument to you, okay? Is that I think that it will cost more American lives in the long term if we don't involve ourselves, because I think that Iran will continue to gain military power and they will continue to fund terrorism, and that terrorism will have effects that kill American citizens.
Not to mention if they actually get nuclear weapons. If they had actually made nuclear weapons successfully, they would have bombed a lot of the places around them, and then who do you think they would have hit next? Like
I view this as a trolley problem. Does that make sense to you? Now, you can disagree with my analysis, but like, I'm not advocating. I don't want anybody to die. Nobody wants any Americans to die. That's crazy. Of course not. Why would anybody want that? So you have to think about, why am I saying what I'm saying? We can't afford another North Korea. Yeah, exactly. What happens if they do get a nuclear bomb? This war is inevitable, whether it was now or in 1 or 2 years.
Exactly. This was going to happen. There was never going to be a day and age where this doesn't happen. I'm sorry, like, that's just how it is. I've made a few videos about that now. This war was going to happen.
And the truth is that having it happen now is better, because Iran is at its weakest, absolutely. They're 100% at their weakest. And I'm waiting to see if there's any more bombing that's happening. Let me go back. I'll pull up this other one. That Sneeko has a 1 million subscriber plaque on YouTube, and this was purely an outcome of the AI.
Let's move on from this. What do we got? Ramp up weapon production. Do we have... Oh, the Kurds. The Kurds are joining the fight.
Another operation...
Oh my God, what is this audio? What is this audio, brother?
...was already underway. 6 days earlier, Kurdish fighters were mobilizing. Hundreds reportedly slipped across the border into Iran, setting up for a possible ground offensive. The White House says it never signed off on the foreign insurgency plan, but America's partnered with the Kurds in the past. The Kurds have real muscle. There's over 40 million of them spread across the Middle East.
Holy shit!
And they control strategic areas around the Iran-Iraq border. President Trump reportedly spoke with Kurdish leaders on Sunday, and today he signaled to Reuters he'd support a Kurdish incursion. Quote, "I think it's wonderful that they want to do that. I'd be all for it. But when asked if the U.S. would provide air cover, Trump said, can't tell you that. But maintain...
They can't tell you that because they don't want to pass the buck, man. Yes, we will provide them air cover, so where... Dude, that's stupid. Why would you say that? Again, it's up there with that dumb... Not saying this guy's actually really good. I like his reporting. But I'm sure some other moron at the thing asked him that question, and he said, no, okay? Like, obviously, they're not going to give out tactical information, guys. Come on.
Is to win. Rubio says, we're not arming them. But, quote, you never know with the Israelis. The New York Times says the CIA has previously given small arms to the Kurds as part of a covert program to destabilize Iran before the war. Kurdish leaders are publicly denying a ground offensive, but Axios says it could start later this week if the United States gives the green light. Kurds don't have the ethnic clout to rule the Iranian capital, but they have guns and mojo. And remember, many of them used to live in Iran, so they know the ropes. They could draw the Iranian Republican Guard units out into the open and expose them to U.S. airstrikes. They could also provide...
Yo, that's cool. Why don't we do that? Why don't we have something like that in our military? Man, we'd have so many people getting burned, it'd be the best thing ever. Yo, that's pretty cool.
Out into the open and expose them to U.S. airstrikes.
You better jump unless you want to get burned, bitch.
They could also provide security for the Iranian people in the capital and help prevent another regime crackdown. John Kiriakou is a former CIA agent. Do you think the Kurdish play is a distinct possibility?
Why wouldn't it be? Like, we already not going to do boots on the ground. They evacuated all the bases except for one, unfortunately. And they got bombed. Like, why would we bother with that? That's not even us. Like, we don't have to worry about that. I think that Trump should probably think about giving them air support for sure. But if the Kurds want to do this and they want to do boots on the ground, man, fucking go for it. Because they've already, like, the RGCA or whatever the fuck that shit's called has already said that they are going to start executing anybody that protests the Iran government again. So, like, what better way to suss these people out than to send in a bunch of Iranian Kurds? Shit, get them all, man.
Oh, I would say the chances are 100%. The Kurds have long worked with the United States. They are brave fighters, pro-American. We've worked with them very closely in the past against Saddam Hussein. We worked with them in Syria.
Well, I mean, you have to keep in mind that as long as these guys got guns and training, that's really all they need. All their air support, all their missiles, everything that these people had that could control the air or take out a massive number of people, it's all gone. And it's being bombed every time they like load up another missile to launch somewhere. The Iran airspace is done. The Navy is done. All you have now is a bunch of these soldiers inside. Now, I'm sure they've got a few missile silos around, but they're going to be so preoccupied trying to bomb the countries around them that the Kurds really don't have to worry about that. They need to go through these city streets in Iran and get all these goddamn soldiers out, draw them out into the open and take care of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't need to have super high caliber shit. You don't need to have like specific boots and whatever, because like the good chances is they're going to be in the streets anyway. This isn't going to be a battle on like an open field. This is going to be more like a tactical warfare that's going to be involved in actual like urban areas more than anything. So the more people you have that flood those streets and take these people out to help the Iranians, the better off the overthrow of their government's going to be.
Bashar al-Assad, this is a logical...
Like every member of the Iran military that is killed or flees is a weakening of a already very weak military.
Okay, there they are doing cartwheels over flyer. That's an interesting training technique. I've never seen anybody do that before. But in all seriousness, what would be the strategy once they cross the border? To draw the Iranian units out, to go straight to the capital? Is it a decoy? Is it security? What would their role be?
I think it's probably the first. They likely couldn't make it all the way to Tehran without significant assistance from the United States, but I don't think that would be the goal. I think the goal would be to capture areas that historically have been Iranian Kurdistan and to draw the Revolutionary Guard out so that they would be that much easier to strike.
Do you see other ethnic groups move into Iran proper? We're hearing Azerbaijan got hit, and they got some hardcore fellas that have been licking their chops to go south for quite some time.
They do, and you know, one thing most people don't know, I think, is that there's the country of Azerbaijan, and then there's an Iranian province of Azerbaijan, and they're, of course, ethnically closely related. I think the Azeris were really, really angry when this strike came their way yesterday, I guess it was, and I think that they would be very happy to work with the United States on this.
So we have to assume we have CIA officers inside the Iranian capital. What are they doing right now?
I'm not sure that there are CIA officers per se in the capital. CIA agents, those people who are recruited by the CIA, I'm sure are all over the place. And historically, the Israelis have had just an incredible intelligence presence all across Iran. The Israelis are very, very active in Iran. They have been for years.
Because whenever you have a common enemy, a lot of people will do whatever it takes to fight that common enemy. I wonder how many of those ladies' family members were slaughtered or executed in the middle of the street by the IRGC in front of her eyes. There are stories of these women being snapped up by the IRGC for having their hijabs on the wrong way, and being put into a prison and having awful fucking things done to them and then being executed. They snapped up 32,000 protesters last month and executed them behind bars. They were going to do public executions, openly stating that on social media. And because Trump said, no, you're not, guess what they didn't do? That's what happens whenever you have a bunch of people that have to come together because their entire family's been killed by a terroristic government. They'll do whatever it takes to take it down. Even the people are being threatened. They're using propaganda on social media to keep these people scared and to make them think that America is losing. They'll do whatever it takes to maintain the power they have over these people, even killing them all.
I would think that what they are reporting back to their handlers, whether American or Israeli, is essentially targeting information at this point. We would want to know, as the Israelis would want to know, where the remaining generals live, for example, whether they're going to work, and if they go to work, where is that work located? Who's running the country? Who's exposed and might be liable for an attack? I think it's all about the targeting.
All right, so right now we're still in targeting phase. Are they also juggling supporting popular uprising phase? When does that transition occur?
Well, if the Israeli media are to be believed, the Israelis have been on
I
this
love that people keep bringing up Iraq and Afghanistan. You do realize that was a military-industrial complex, right? I just keep talking about Iraq, and we'll just keep bombing silos over in Iran and winning. How about that? Iraq and Afghanistan was a military-industrial complex that was built to funnel money into a few people in the government and get a lot of Americans killed. That's all it was. You trying to compare this, what's going on right now in Iran, to anything else is a joke. It is.
Like white on rice. That the Israelis
we have managed to take out their entire leadership. We've managed to bomb most of their nuclear weapons production facilities, taken out most of their missile production facilities, taken out most of their weapon capabilities in the air, their radars. We even took out their entire leadership regime in a matter of 30 fucking minutes. 30 minutes. All at once. And you want to compare this to Iraq and Afghanistan? Sure. Whatever. Whatever keeps you coping, bruh. Whatever makes your boat float.
Credit, frankly, for the popular uprising that we saw begin.
We own their airspace right now.
Several weeks ago, maybe a month ago. The Israelis have people on the ground. The Israelis are happy to spend the money. The Israelis are working with the Mujahideen Khalq, the MEK, to get people into the streets. I think we'll be seeing a lot more of that as the targeting becomes more and more fulsome and successful.
Okay. It's an exciting
there's no way. I think that their military is so weak right now. They said that it would take 3 more weeks. I would be surprised if it lasts another 2, honestly. They have been hit so fucking hard, so fast. I don't understand how they even still have some of these missiles and are launching them. They must have had a big ass stockpile of these launchers, dude. Like, there's no way.
That's an understatement. John, thank you so much for your expertise. Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows.
New video showing the overwhelming
My God, dude. Fox!
Firepower of the U.S. and Israeli militaries as they continue to hammer Iran's defenses. CENTCOM is reporting our forces controlled the skies and destroying Iran's arsenal with, quote,
Bro, they deleting planes before them bitches can even get off the ground.
Precision. Hello, everyone. This is Outnumbered. I'm Kayleigh McEnany, here with my co-host, Emily Campagno. Also joining us, Caroline Downey, National Review columnist.
20,000 Americans be able to return to the United States since this began, including 10,000 Americans that have been directly assisted by that task force.
And you know what's crazy? We've only lost 6 people. Like, those were 6 brave, hardcore patriots. And I'm sure Trump will make sure they get the honors that they deserve and the burial they deserve. But the fact that we took out so much of Iran in 30 minutes and we're still pounding the shit out of them, I'm sorry, dude. I think it's over. And we've only lost 6 people. Come on.
Bottom line is this. If you're an American in the region that is looking to depart the region, please call +1.
Get the fuck out!
202-501-4444. We are working 24/7 to bring you home.
A new video posted last hour shows B-52s at work. CENTCOM explaining these bombers have been used in every major conflict since 1965, including Operation Epic Fury. During the first 100 hours, these planes struck Iranian ballistic missiles in command and control posts. And the B-52s joining the U.S. and Israel's aerial assault, with military officials reporting the Iranian regime's ability to impact other nations in the region is, quote, rapidly declining. But Iran is still trying to fight back. This video was taken in Azerbaijan this morning. 12 countries in the region so far. We have that list.
Why?
Let's pull it up.
Yo, they be hitting everybody.
Absolutely laughable to suggest you don't attack neighboring countries. The list of 12, as you can see here, everyone from the UAE, Bahrain,
They
Kuwait,
fucking everybody up. What the hell are they doing?
Arabia. The list goes on.
That's the list of people that Iran has bombed since this started.
Once again, as I said yesterday, proving they are not a rational actor when you're attacking 12 countries.
Well, it's proven.
No, it's because they know they're cooked. They know they're over. And you know what's funny is that every place that these people attack makes them fight Iran or Iran or whatever the fuck you want to call it. That just adds to the fire.
His point, as well as Israel's point, you know, some of the countries that they're attacking are considered allies of Iran. Take Turkey, for example. Turkey isn't like some of the other countries that have been saying things privately that they won't say publicly. This just shows you, if they act this way with the little missiles that they have, what would they have done with a nuclear weapon? I think this is the president's point right here. And I think this also goes to the larger conversation that the president tried to get peace. He talked to a lot of Arab countries, the Muslim world, brought them together. But you got to remember, that was Iran's goal. They wanted to unite the Muslim world. They wanted all Muslims to be radicals. And a lot of them chose their economic prosperity instead of that. That's why they're attacking airports. That's why they're attacking hotels, because this goes against everything that Iran wanted from the very beginning. At the end of the day, we know where this ends. You got a president of the United States who is clear-eyed. You got a Secretary of Defense that has the support of his generals right now, and they are doing surgical strikes, and it's working. And we'll see how this ends if the Iranian people finally get that chance once they get the weapons, and I think there's going to be some reporting on that very soon. Once they get the weapons and it can...
and they got a shipment of weapons coming in, boys. Get them! Yes, sir!
Operate internally, that's when the game is really going to be changed.
Yeah, without a doubt. And, you know, Emily, I think he hit the crux there when he said, if you're going to attack 12 neighboring countries, what are you going to do with a nuclear weapon? I want to put this up.
Shit, they're going to have the Kurds on one side. They got a U.S. bombing the shit out of them. Israel on the other side, dropping fucking bombs on them with the planes. They got all these other countries that are cheering on the Americans. Like, bruh. Then you're going to have your own, their own people with guns? Nah.
To this morning. This is 100
Remember,
hours
guys, this is like Iraq. Keep coping, motherfucker.
of Operation Epic Fury. You can see all of the U.S. military assets that have been used against Iran. But I think a key point here is many of these assets were surrounding Iran for weeks, and they pranced into a meeting, a diplomatic meeting, and said, we have enough uranium.
You know what's funny is I'm not even a Trump supporter. I'm not. Never was. I'm not a left or a right. I don't give a fuck. I see a person that wants to do right by the American people and the people of the world, I'm going to be all for that guy. I'm sorry. That's just how it is.
To build 11 nukes while you're staring this down?
Well, I think what
Calling people racist when you don't like Mr. Orange.
saw there
Just
was
because he's a different color doesn't mean you could be mean to him.
an audacity and emboldenment that had been fomented under the prior administration. And frankly,
Yo, low key, I should be a part of that shit. I should start spreading that. It's because he's orange, you fucking racists. That's why you don't like him. It's because he's orange.
many prior administrations before that. Right now we are seeing sort of a wild animal lash out in its final moments, but there has been not only meticulous planning with a lot of cells and proxies by Iran, by the Islamic Republic for quite some time, but also there's been an arrogance because they haven't ever been held to account because we are still funding terrorist cells, right? That's being held up in the Senate right now. We are still funding to the tune of $83 million a year, a week. The terrorist activities here. So I think, of course, why wouldn't they have thought that they would be blessed in their endeavor? Now, finally, they have been met with the clear-eyed vision and the incredible...
I guarantee you what would have happened is these people would have continued fighting back until they all died. They're at a point now where in Iran, if you're an Iran citizen and you live there, your government is literally starving you to death. And if you say anything about it, they kill you. That's where their citizens are at now. They can't afford anything. They can't get any food or water. And they're getting killed left and right. Well, if you're going to die, that's what these people have come to. Like, they're like, well, we're either going to starve to death or we're going to be shot. So they're making a choice. They're being forced systematically to make this choice. They don't have a choice.
Forces of us and our allies.
And if they flee and they get captured, they get killed. Like,
to sort of underscore my point, just 9 hours ago, Pakistani forces destroyed both al-Qaeda and Taliban sort of headquarters or in that central area in Kandahar. And up until now, we've been told, oh, they don't work together. Remember, al-Qaeda is separate from ISIS, is separate from certain, in TTF. So the reality is that under the sort of looking the other way and the fomenting of their emboldenment has been them rising up and has been them fostering relationships and then through the open borders slipping their way in here. So a prepared citizenry is the thing that terrorists fear most. And the American might and our commitment to liberation and our allies is what the Islamic Republic feared most. So stay consistent and also recognize that this is the result not just of our decision now and our incredible dedication to seeing it through, but for letting it happen for so many decades.
You know, Cheryl, I want to play this. This is moments ago. We have new video of these strikes over Tehran. You're looking at them. There's explosions lighting up the night sky.
Damn,
this
that's
is happening,
crazy.
in real time, essentially.
Yeah, and this is the thing we heard from the Secretary of War earlier this morning, the precision strikes that are happening, whether it is missile silos, whether it is the headquarters of the RIGC, whether it was the strike that we saw over the weekend, of course, when the Iranian leadership was taken out. The utter stupidity of the Iranians
Them cruise missiles be cruising, though, man. Let me tell you what.
right now, I find incredible.
Them cruise missiles cruising, boys.
But not surprising that you would go after the GCC the way that they have. This is the complete wrong move. That's one issue. Also, we have to talk about the incredible ally we've got in Israel right now and the military partner that we have with the Israelis right now. They have shown the power and the progress that you can find in technology in this new age of war. A lot of the airport strikes that we've been watching happen over the last few days, whether it was Abu Dhabi or the strike outside of the Dubai airport, those were drones, cheap drones that they were buying from other countries. Certainly, that's one issue. Also, you got to back up and look at the macro story here. It is unbelievable what the Trump administration has done. Think about it. You take out Maduro, you're basically paralyzed.
Bro's getting motherfucking charged in a New York court. That's crazy. They didn't just kill the dude. They brought his ass to trial. They were like, bro, you're going to jail. They went and got that motherfucker, and they brought him to New York, and they put his ass in jail. And from a different country. Come on, man.
Iranian exports of oil, which we'll talk about later. That hurts the Chinese because the Chinese have been buying 80% of the oil from Iran that they were exporting to fund these terrorist organizations. The Hezbollah, the Houthis, all of these groups are on their heels. We've completely upended and we are reshaping the Middle East. I say that from someone that wants to see economic prosperity, that wants to see the continued growth of Dubai, of Doha.
Yeah, I mean, that's really the main point here is like, if you want to fix and help these people that are fleeing their country as immigrants, instead of helping them move here and ruining our welfare systems, why don't we help them by forcing a government change in their country? Obviously, their government isn't working. I mean, it's obviously not. You have people fleeing your fucking country and going to other countries around them. Well, what better way to help them than to, like, it could even be another dictator. It doesn't matter. But somebody who's going to do right by the people, that's what matters. I mean, Russia is kind of crazy, but I mean, well, actually, you don't really see any propaganda coming out of Russia now, do you? And I imagine it's like that on purpose. Well, I don't know about Germany either. So yeah, anyway, the point is, is that if you've got people actively trying to overthrow their government and they're getting slaughtered, you should probably fix that.
That wants to see stability in Iraq with the Kurds, who deserve, I think, at this point, that stability. It is an incredible moment in our time, I think.
It is. Trump is resetting the world order. That's what this comes down to. He has remade the world order in a way that is better and more positive. Caroline, CENTCOM said this: the two most powerful air forces in the world are dominating the skies over the world's largest state sponsor of terror.
Yeah, my dad graduated.
Absolutely based and 100% true. That's what happens when you're a bad actor. Remember, every dog has his day. Every dog has his day. Unfortunately, I am not only past my time, I'm over it. I'm not only at my time, I'm over it. We'll be back on Monday. If you're new here, stick around. Sub to the channel. We do this Monday through Friday. I take the weekends off because there's a lot of schizos that make my brain cells die. So, I mean, you've seen a lot of it in the comments. We'll be back on Monday, bright and early. Hit a like on the button. Check out all the videos. Watch the shorts. Join the streams. View all the good shit. We'll be talking about this again first thing on Monday. Hopefully a whole lot of crazy shit doesn't happen over the weekend again. And I'll catch y'all on Monday. Stay safe out there. Stay away from crazy people. Don't turn into a crazy person. We might be pointing and laughing at you on the stream. We wouldn't want that now, would we? Try to put a smile on someone's face. You might change their whole life or their whole day or their whole life. You never know. And I'll see you on Monday. Have a great weekend. Have a fantastic, amazing, beautiful weekend.
I don't ever slow up. No, I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness.
Peace.
hate this, I'll always show up.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that, spitting slow, spitting fast.